Rockies, Padres, Friday at 7:30.
Colorado Rockies baseball on FSN is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. You're now free to move about the country. And by Affleck, ask about it at work. Pretty afternoon for baseball. A lot of folks, those same folks who were playing hooky from work on Monday, George, a lot of them have done it again here on Wednesday afternoon.
And why not? I mean, that's what you're supposed to do in the middle of the week, come out to a ball game.
I guess it hasn't been a real productive work week for a number of
it'll still
companies
going to be there on Monday. Don't worry about it.
You bet. Rodrigo Lopez misses ball one to Steven Drew, leading things off for Arizona. I don't care how many times you toe the rubber, George. There has to be some nerves with a new club, new environment, and an easy play from Matt Holliday, and it's nice to get that first one out of the way. Let's take a look at the Southwest lineup today for Bob Melvin's Arizona Diamondbacks. Alberto Callaspo can play everywhere, and we've seen him off the bench last couple of days. He'll be in right field. And then the dangerous Orlando Hudson in the 3-hole. Eric Burns will bat cleanup. He's hitting .500 in the early season. Chad Tracy, Connor Jackson, Scotty Hairston, and Miguel Montero, a guy who can really swing the bat. He swings from the left side. A young catching prospect for Arizona. That fastball in the inside corner for a strike. Paul Schreiber has home plate duties this afternoon.
Pretty fair umpire. I mean, he's going to give you the inside-outside corner, and he'll get with you in a ball game to figure out what your patterns are. Try to help you through it as much as you can.
Left field, and Holliday has this one. Too quickly are out. Rodrigo Lopez, George, had an up and down spring, but it finished the right way.
It did finish the right way, and it started the way it did in the second half last year. And earned run average much better. 29 ball games a year ago, .590 earned run average. 15-game winner twice. He's been an opening day starter 3 out of the last 5. All of that brought to you by Lakewood Fordland. Visit our new state-of-the-art location at West 6th Avenue in Sims, or just go online to www.fordland.com.
So here we go with Orlando Hudson and 2 outs, and the fastball down low, and you notice the radar got 94 miles an hour. Rodrigo is not your prototypical starting right-hand pitcher because, George, he's not 6'4", 6'5", 6'6", which is what all scouts tend to look for, but he's got a powerful arm, and he's about 6 foot 180, and he induces 3 fly balls to begin things. Tulowitzki has it. That's a nice debut. 6 pitches. See you later. We'll see the Rockies with the bats when we return to Coors Field. Rockies coming up in the bottom of the first inning. A quick 1-2-3 start for Rodrigo Lopez. Doug Davis is making his debut with the Arizona Diamondbacks. And here's the lineup he'll face today with Clint Hurdle back in the dugout. Steve Finley will get the start. He's 4 for 10 in his career against Doug Davis. Jamie Carroll, Garrett Atkins, Todd Helton, Matt Holliday, Brad Hopp, Tulowitzki, Torey Alba with the gear on today, and then of course Rodrigo Lopez. And here is the 18-year veteran Steve Finley, who the last couple of years, he was telling me before the ball game, he has swung the bat better left on left, and he takes strike 1, and it's time for our Esurance fact of the game. Our inside information: Finley 4 for 10 all time against Doug Davis. So you may be wondering why he would be starting with a left-hander out there. The 2 reasons: one you just saw graphically, and the other reason, the fact that he has swung the bat better the last couple of years left on left, because his counterpart in center field, Willie Taveras, hits from the right side.
Well, there's numbers that managers look at, and then there's numbers. And when they glare out at you like that, 4 for 10, and it's a hard 4 for 10, and even the 6 times he was able to get him, he swung the bat well against him.
Here's the 2-1, and it's hit on the ground to second base. Easy play for Orlando Hudson. And let's take a closer look at Davis, the former Texas Ranger and now Milwaukee Brewer.
Hey, look at his season last year, 11-11, and this is all brought to you by Fordland Ford in Lakewood. A record of 11-11, 4.91 earned run average, strikeouts to walk 102. That was a career high, but a model of consistency. A double-digit 3 years in a row in wins. First time for him to pitch here in the mountains. His record 1-1 versus the Rockies. Out of here, 277 earned run average. All of that brought to you by Lakewood Fordland. Visit the new location, state-of-the-art, at West 6th Avenue in Sims, or just go online at www.fordland.com.
Well, Davis, like Rodrigo Lopez, making their Coors Field debut. When he pitched with Milwaukee the last couple of years, Davis had never pitched at Coors Field. He's 1-1 all time with a very good ERA against the Rockies, 2.77. One start with the Brewers against the Rockies, one start with the Rangers a couple years ago against the Rockies. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Jamie Carroll, who scuffled offensively during most of spring training, but he felt like he really came together the final 7 to 10 days. Two balls and 2 strikes on Jamie. He'll be utilized in a variety of ways for Clint Hurdle. Second base, shortstop. May even see him at third base. Most of the time up the middle. And the 2-2 is line foul down the right field line. What a tremendous season Jamie had a year ago. Hit a career best 300. Also hit 5 home runs, and if not for that play that Raul Ibanez made in Seattle, he would have had 6 home runs. One of the great circus catches over the wall you'll ever see. So every once in a while, Jamie will surprise you. He'll drive it into the gap or over the wall. Career 280 hitter. So last year was not a fluke. He's always been a pretty solid offensive player in his days in the Expos/Nationals organization. Coming up in the top of the second inning, a special treat for you. We'll be joined by the new head basketball coach at the University of Colorado. I think you've heard of him. Jeff Bzdelic will be along in a few minutes. That pitch is up high, 3-2. And this is pretty typical at bat for Jamie Carroll. See, Jeff's already here. He's ready to go. And he's got the jersey on.
He's got his uni on. He's going to get him a glove or a bat. Let's go.
How about that? How good are the Rockies? Jeff had his press conference this morning, literally a couple hours ago. They already got a uniform for him.
Yeah,
Name on the back.
Yeah, Keith Schultz, Joe Diaz, those guys do a good job down there.
They do a great job. And they sew quickly, which is very important. And they also got the jumble of letters that is Bzdelic's last name correct. Hairston, Burns, and Callaspo in the outfield. Tracy, Drew, Hudson, Jackson left to right in the infield. And Miguel Montero is behind the plate. So Jamie Carroll is at first base with 1 out. Here's Garrett Atkins. Garrett a double last night for his first hit of the season. Last year's numbers, 329 as you saw, 29 home runs. He drove in 120. Pitch out, nothing cooking, and it's 1-1. Montero blocks the ball well. He moves pretty well. He did have a problem throwing the baseball. I was trying to characterize it in the most diplomatic fashion. And George, when he was setting his feet to throw, he was really off balance. And he's done a lot of work the last couple of weeks to straighten that out. He was throwing a lot of balls that were, because of his footwork, tailing away, and some that were ended up in right center field.
Well, you got to stay behind it and through it. And he's a pretty good guy in that dugout over there that can catch a little bit. His manager, Bob Melvin, could show him a few things about catching, and you get out and work on it. You're a backup catcher. If you don't catch and throw, you're not going to back up very long.
That's what we're talking about, Ionetta, the chance to be the full package. There's so many catchers that, and Danny Ardoin fell in this category, George. Great catch and throw guy, struggles offensively. Well, and then you have the other side of the coin, guys like, Mike Piazza, who's going to the Hall of Fame, who is a great offensive catcher and a very marginal catch and throw guy.
Well, I mean, it's very difficult to find a guy like Pudge Rodriguez. Name another that's been around. I mean, Posada in New York does a nice job catching. He swings the bat okay, and he's going to drive in some runs, but it's still not a guy like Rodriguez. They're just not out there.
1-2, Atkins stays alive. Then you have to go all the way back. The name that always pops up is Johnny Bench.
You know what? And he had trouble throwing back to the mound. He had the yips going back to the mound. It was hilarious. He'd throw these little lollipops to the mound because he couldn't snap throw it back to the pitcher. If he did, he'd liable to send it into center field.
He's not the only catcher that suffered from that. And they got him picked off. Is there an out call?
No,
I don't think there was an out call.
Said he never tagged him.
There was never an out call.
Connor Jackson's going to say he didn't tag him. I mean, he's a little upset right now. And they're just going to say it.
Orlando Hudson's trying to keep him in the game.
Yeah, McClellan said he didn't tag him. He's standing right here in front of him. What do you want me to do? Well, that's why whenever you get in this situation, you're running a guy down, you punch tag him. I mean, you slap tag him. You let him know that he got him.
Hard to tell on that angle. Yeah, the way Jamie reacted, I mean, he reacted like, you know what, he missed me.
Well, sure he did. Why would he not get up and take off running the way he did? When he went down, he rolled to the outfield side to avoid the tag.
You know what? Does he have the baseball in his hand or in his glove? This ball driven to left field is going to drop in front of Hairston. And now the Rockies have 2 on with 1 out. Todd Helton coming up.
Trying to look on an inside fastball, trying to cut it and shatter the bat, and just doesn't happen. Atkins able to get the hands inside the baseball, pull it to left field, and put a man in scoring position. Little bitty things in the game, fundamental things, just come back to haunt you. I don't care what sport it is. The tag or lack of by Connor Jackson puts a runner in scoring position.
I heard Pat Summitt last night saying the difference in the women's championship for the Lady Vols, we'll talk to Jeff Bzdelic in a few moments, he said, was rebounding. He said, I believe rebounding wins championships. You hear in baseball, pitching and defense wins championships.
Yeah,
so you're right, the little things.
I've always
pulled foul.
I mean, you know, I've been around this a while, but I figured this out. If you don't let the other team score, you're going to win a lot of those ball games. I mean, you know, you box out people on rebounds. If you catch a ground ball up the middle, turn a double play to get out of innings, you're gonna win a lot of baseball games. You're going to win a lot of basketball games.
That's one of the reasons you were a candidate to be a Phi Beta Kappa at Oklahoma. I say candidate. It didn't work out.
We all know why I went to Oklahoma, so.
Here, Jeff just wrote me down one I hadn't heard before. No rebounds, no rings. In the air foul down the left field line, and out of play. I was talking to Lee Tinsley, who's the first base coach for the Arizona Diamondbacks. And I said, defensively, when you line your outfield, who's the toughest guy to set up for in the Rockies lineup? And he laughed. He said, it's not even close. He said, it's Helton. And he said, and with 2 strikes, I mean, he's more comfortable than just about any hitter in baseball with 2 strikes.
Well, because he works a lot of counts to 2-2, 3-2, but he's not afraid to take a hack on something close. Like that.
That's served to center field. It's going to drop. Here's Jamie Carroll around third. The throw to the plate is going to be cut off. Throw to third's wide. Atkins is up. He'll score. Helton to second base. 2-0, Colorado. Well, the little things become big things, and if you throw the baseball all over the diamond, you're going to give up runs. The Rockies capitalize on the miscue there. 2 in the dugout getting high fives. You got to like it.
Connor Jackson's alarm didn't go off very well this morning. Maybe he should have gone to the diner with me because he didn't make a very good tag here. And he fires this thing. I mean, this is a perfect cutoff. You got Atkins just dead to right at third base. All he has to do is throw the ball over there. And he come close. Helton on an 0-2 count. Here comes the cutoff throw in from Burns. I mean, it's one hop, and it's just kind of airmail down to the tarp. Umpire didn't want to play. Nobody did. He's up with a couple of runs in.
You know what? It's almost like he was still watching the Detroit Tigers from last year's World Series throw it all over the place. Here's Holiday with Helton out there and just 1 out. You know, get after Davis early. This is a guy that, kind of like Livan Hernandez, he eats up innings, and if you get after him early, you get a real good chance to get to the bullpen. Otherwise, he's like Hernandez. He'll get on a roll. And he falls behind Holiday 2-0. Couple hits last night from Matt. Maybe the most impressive hit of the young season, George. He was behind 0-2 in the 11th inning against Valverde. who throws in the upper 90s, and he smoked the line drive on an 0-2 pitch to right field. Valverde had struck out, Matt, the previous night.
Well, to really make you realize how difficult that is, a 95-mile-an-hour fastball away from you, to get on top of that baseball. A lot of times you work under the ball and you'll get that long fly, lazy fly ball to the opposite field.
This ball to the gap in right center field. Time to run for Holiday. Helton will cruise home. And the Rockies have 3 quickly against Doug Davis in the first.
Well, the biggest outburst here in the first inning. Coach, they may have you stand up here all year. You get 3 runs out of this like this. That's pretty good. They're rebounding and hunting for some rings right now. I like it. Now, Holiday, again, it's that hard slider, just big, strong man, goes down and gets it, drives it into right center field. That is a nice job of hitting. You talk about concentration, following the ball all the way in and being able to make solid contact and just change places.
There's been some interesting scorekeeping in this game already as Brad Hopp takes a ball. You have to credit Jamie Carroll with a caught stealing and then an error on Connor Jackson for missing the tag. So Jackson has a daily double going here in the first inning. He's got 2 errors. Big swing by Hopp, 1-1.
Well, you get 2 in the first inning, the ball becomes a heat-seeking missile. It just finds you the rest of the game and kind of expose maybe your ability. Right now, Connor Jackson not a happy camper because he knows obviously he's cost his club 2 runs early in this game.
It should have been 2 outs and nobody on.
You're right.
And the Rockies a chance to put up a crooked number early. They already have 3 across. Off-speed pitch to Hopp's up, 2-1. Early confidence in Brad Hopp getting a start against a left-handed pitcher. And keep in mind, I mean, Clint Hurdle very easily and very comfortably could have written in the name Jeff Baker, who's 2 for 2 off the bench, including a home run. But Hopp is swinging the bat well, and he wants to give Hopp confidence, show him that he believes in Brad, not just when right-handers are out on the hill. Davis is a guy that is sneaky quick. He can be deceptive. He throws a cutter and change eye level with his fastball. A couple years ago, he set a left-handed record for the Milwaukee Brewers, striking out 208. His 2 career starts against the Rockies, and he's been very good in both of them. Here's the 2-2 curveball, and Hopp stayed off it. Check it out at third with Field and Colbreth. Umpiring crew this afternoon: Paul Schreiber behind the plate, Rob Drake at first, Tim McClellan, the crew chief, at second, and Colbreth is at third. Outfield pretty much straight up and deep with Hopp up there. That misses, ball 4, and that'll bring up Troy Tulowitzki. Here's today's Panasonic Plasma Speed of Sports. Last night, Chris Iannetta rips one past Alberto Callaspo, and here comes Tulowitzki with the winning run in the 11th. Our Panasonic Plasma Speed of Sports. And you always like when there's a mound meeting early in the game. Brian Price out there conducting it. We talked about Rodrigo Lopez, though he did demonstrate it in the first inning, probably having some nerves. Doug Davis, same situation. It's the first time he's pitched in an Arizona uniform. You want to get off to a good start. You want to do that whether you've been in that uniform for a number of years or not, but it's a first impression thing with the fans.
First 2 starts for the Diamondbacks have been pretty good. Livan Hernandez, Webb struggled but kept him in a ball game, and I'm sure he was trying to keep that string going along here, and it just hadn't worked out. But again, 2 errors committed by Connor Jackson too, though. Drew all of a sudden made this a 3-run game. I mean, you know, he has walked a guy. Last year he walked 109. 30 pitches, now 31 in the ball game. If the plays are made, he's sitting in the dugout. They were not.
Another big swing, and it's 0-2. Tulowitzki hitting the same hitting group as Matt Holliday this morning. And Holliday hits him as far as anybody in batting practice. We've discussed that quite a bit the last couple of years. Tulowitzki's not far behind.
They're fun to watch. I mean, they accelerate the bat through the zone so quickly. They like picking on the pitchers. Well, they rose up a little bit that time, and they'll do that with him because he's aggressive. They'll rise it up into the strike zone, try to climb the ladder. Difficult for a player, veteran, even a young guy, to lay off something like this when you have 2 strikes on you. And they just threw that ball by him, kind of a little loop in the swing too. That ball, tried to get on top of it, ended up under it.
And that's exactly how he gets strikeouts, and it looks like it's 95 miles an hour. That fastball is only 85, but
right, he doesn't throw hard. I mean,
he raises it up.
Yeah, it looks quicker up there because of the 65-mile-an-hour, curveball, the changeup, and everything else that's dressed around the fastball.
First 0-7 at bat for Yorvik Torrealba. And he takes ball 1. 2 runners on. Matt Holliday, who doubled, is at second base. Brad Hopp, who walked at first. Three 3-0 on Torrealba, so Davis being very careful with Rodrigo Lopez on deck. At the knees.
Try to look at it. Yeah, I mean, it's just coming right down the middle of the plate, and it's on the knees. And 10 years ago, it's a strike. Fortunately, right now, it's not. But at that time, I mean, it was a strike. 10 years ago, it was too.
Tough hop, and the force out is made. In the inning, the Rockies swing the bats, and they come up with 3 runs. They take advantage of a couple of Connor Jackson errors. A nice start for Colorado. 1 frame closed, 3-zip, Rockies. Back upstairs with George Frazier. I'm Drew Goodman, joined by the new head coach at the University of Colorado, Jeff Bzdelik. And you're just making a tour of the state right now. Congratulations.
I tell you what, it's only 1:30 time. I haven't even had lunch. I've done everything. Thrown the first pitch out, had a press conference, met this group, that group. It's been a whirlwind, but it's fun. It's great.
Did you throw a strike, by the way?
No, I actually brushed him back. If it was a right-handed hitter, I put him right down on his rear end.
I like it.
Well, knowing you a little bit, that doesn't surprise me because I know how you get after your basketball teams. First and foremost, congratulations on a marvelous, not only season this year, but 2 years at the Air Force Academy. And I know this could not be an easy decision because I know how fond of the folks down there and the kids that you coach down in Colorado Springs that you were.
You're exactly right. It was very, very difficult. I'm so blessed to have opportunities like the Air Force Academy and University of Colorado, and hey, we took Air Force to a certain level, and you know what? Now it's time to take CU to a certain level.
It's a great opportunity. George went to the University of Oklahoma, the old Big 8, and he follows basketball. In fact, George was recruited to play Division I basketball. You understand how tough it is in the Big 12. You talk about Kansas, you talk about Texas A&M coming on, the University of Texas. Everybody wants to know how quickly can a school like Colorado turn the page. You're an impatient guy. I know that.
First of all, you had to spoil the day, didn't you, by mentioning those teams. The Big 12, that's what really made the difference for me. As a competitor,
hold on.
Go foul. Just a strike. Rats, it's not.
No, that's Eric Burns, and he carves into the lead. A solo home run, his first of the year. If you're going to give him up with nobody on base. 3-1. Go ahead, Jeff.
No, that ball went back to Boulder, I think.
Yeah, quickly.
You know, as a competitor, you want to compete at the highest level, and the Big 12 to me is the ultimate in college basketball. I understand how difficult it's going to be, how challenging it's going to be, but hey, why not? We can do it.
Well, I mean, Bob Huggins has come into Kansas State and turned it around very quickly, recruited some players. I mean, players make you a pretty good coach, and that's what you just got to go pound the streets and get.
Oh, anytime you're sitting there on the bench and that final shot's going up, it's like good coach, bad coach, good coach, bad coach. It goes in, you're a good coach if you want it to go in, and bad coach if it misses. I mean, you're right. Players make the game. Players make the offense, so to speak. The offense doesn't make the player.
For you and your family, for Nina and for your 2 kids, Colorado's become home, hasn't it?
Yes, it has, and that's what the beauty of this whole thing is the Denver Nuggets to the Air Force Academy to the University of Colorado. We can maintain our friendships. We can maintain our status in the community in terms of our involvement. My kids don't have to change schools, and we love Colorado. So it's a great opportunity for us.
Pretty good pitch here to strike out Chad Tracy. I know you were a very good basketball player. Did you play baseball growing up as well?
I love baseball. In fact, to be honest with you, I should have stuck with baseball. I really love it. This is great for me. I know they got me doing some other things. I'm going to try and postpone it so I can stay here.
You know, Doug Moe, who we're both very fond of, Doug's favorite sport, here's a guy that was a great basketball player at Carolina, great ABA player, terrific coach. Favorite sport by far is baseball.
See, and I'm a baseball guy. My favorite sport's basketball.
Yeah, you're the opposite.
I did good this year. I only got tossed twice at my son's game. Is that good?
I'll tell you what. Let me do the rest of the broadcast, and
Okay.
you can coach the first game.
No.
Huh?
No. I'll get tossed in the first quarter. Trust me. Those Big 8 guys have already, Big 12 guys already heard me before. They don't want to hear me again.
Brad Hobbs going to corral this one. Connor Jackson retired, 2 outs. It always seems to work this way in sports. I know you're aware of this. Game 1 for the University of Colorado is against whom next year?
New Mexico.
Oh, okay. Well, then not game 1. I messed that up. But shortly thereafter, who do you play?
At Air Force.
Right.
Yeah, I scheduled that game. When the students were there, I'm trying to reschedule it real quick. When the students aren't there, yeah, you're exactly right. That should be fun. I'll feel like Pat Riley after he faxed in his resignation with the Knicks, and then we went back with the Heat to play in Madison Square Garden. That's how I'm going to feel.
There you go. Was it fun in New York, by the way?
It was an absolute gas. It really was. And we did so many significant things. We practiced at West Point for a couple of days, and then we got hooked up with a firefighter who was trapped underneath the rubble of one of the towers and survived. And he took us to ground zero himself, showed us where he was trapped. He then took us to 2 firehouses. One firehouse lost every fireman that was on duty that day, and we exchanged Air Force stuff with fire stuff and shirts and hats, and we spent a lot of time, a lot of interaction with the firemen that actually were there. It was a very significant time for our athletes.
That's terrific. Hey, Jeff, as a friend, I wish you all the best. I'm thrilled for you and your family, and we'll see you a lot next year because you're on Fox Sports Rocky Mountain. Congrats.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
You bet. Jeff Pizdelic, new coach.
Andy Pettit makes his return in pinstripes as he gets the start for the Yankees against the Devil Rays. And Jason Schmidt makes his Dodger debut as the Dodgers and the Brew Crew finish their series in Milwaukee. Plus, it's a battle for LA bragging rights in the NBA. The Clippers host Kobe Bryant and the Lakers. All that and more coming up right here tonight on the FSN Final Score.
First pitch is low and away to Rodrigo Lopez, who has only 20 career at-bats, but of course he's pitched in the American League most of his career. He did come up with the San Diego Padres briefly, and then was traded to the Baltimore Orioles, where he became their opening day starter on 3 occasions, 1 for 20 in his career with a bat in his hands. Native of Mexico, grew up in suburban Mexico City.
He's got a pretty good eye right now. He's ran the count to 3-0. Doing what a good leadoff man does. Watch a lot of pitches, extend the guy's pitch count. He's already up to 41 for Davis.
I'm guessing he gets a take sign here.
Yeah, and you know what, folks? Just so you know, if you're at the ballpark and you see a pitcher with a 3-0 count, look at Mike Gallego, the third base coach. So all he's going to do is take his index finger and stick it out. Take the pitch. Everybody in the ballpark knows what he's doing.
And he just walked. How about that? Not what Doug Davis was trying to do with Rodrigo Lopez. Hey, Rockies fans, want to know how you can change a kid's life? Become a sports buddy. Learn more at denversportsbuddies.com and visit Freeway Ford, I-25 in Evans, where a loaded 05 Explorer is just $15,900. Become a sports buddy and change a kid's life. So Rodrigo Lopez at first base. Here's Steve Finley. Steve getting the start in center field. Grounded to second his first time up, and he hits this ball in the air to second base, and that'll turn into a double play. That's a tough one for Rodrigo Lopez. It's that low line drive. And I guess the best thing to do is probably go back to the bag if he fields it on a hop. You have to force it second anyhow, and you hope Finley beats it. Tough
Been
situation.
on a base pass one time. Go to the dugout,
Yeah.
get 3 more outs.
Exactly. That's second.
I mean,
career time.
you gave that big summation there. You know
Yeah.
what? Go to the dugout. Get the guy out, all right? Freeze on a line drive, pretty simple. Well, he froze, but it was about 20 feet off the bag. Now you get a double play here, go to the dugout and worry about getting that order out of those Arizona Diamondbacks.
Jamie Carroll.
I mean, I looked at Zimmer one time, gave me a steal sign. I looked over and I called timeout. I walked back to Billy Williams. I said, did he just give me the steal? And he goes, yeah, and I don't know why either, so just take off running. So I did the old Willie Stargell. About halfway down, I just called timeout and started walking back towards the dugout.
Did you ever ask what that was about?
Yeah, they just wanted me to make the last out instead of having Denier make the last out and let the leadoff guy, you know, start the inning. Yeah. Hey, go to bat for your community and get free Rockies tickets. Colorado Rockies home run for the homeless will be held Sunday, May 6th. Call 303-312-2411.
1-2 on Carroll, who walked his first time up. 3 walks already by Doug Davis in the ball game. He will do that from time to time. Last year he walked 4.5 batters per 9 innings, which is a little higher than you'd like.
109 on the season. That was a career high for him.
Last year, Jamie Carroll, second among all second basemen in the National League in batting average with that 300 mark. Chase Utley of the Phillies, #1 at 309. And a couple of guys in the top 5 who play inside the NL West. Ray Durham with that great year with the Giants. Orlando Hudson on that list also of the Diamondbacks. 2-2 on Carroll. Rockies up 3-1. Works the count full. Well, I'm happy for Jeff Bzdelik, and I think it's a great move for the University of Colorado.
Well, for him, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
How many years now in Colorado for him? 5?
Yeah.
So, I mean, you know, it's great for him. As he mentioned, his kids stay in the same school. They have the same friends. It's not like uprooting everybody to take off in a profession that could be pretty rough at times. A college basketball coach, Dana Altman, took the job at Arkansas for 24 hours. And he bailed.
Yeah, decided to stay in the Missouri Valley Conference. Ball 4. That's 4 walks now. And the pitch count, George, in the second inning at 52 for Doug Davis. Now you have to deal with Garrett Atkins.
Yeah, something you take a little notice of as you look at Brian Price, their pitching coach. I've watched in situations that dictated a voice, it's been Orlando Hudson as a leader. He's been to the mound 3 or 4 times in this series. He's gone over and patted Connor Jackson. He's done different things to show that leadership of a position player you like to see. He just came in there after the walk and said something to Davis again. Directing the outfield. I mean, he's doing a little bit of everything.
And that misses. 2-0.
You know, it doesn't surprise me. You mentioned this all the way through the series, how the Diamondbacks have pinched the gaps. What do I mean? Just trying to give up the lines and try to catch the balls in the gaps. Well, their assistant general manager and director of scouting, Jerry DePoto, worked here, played here. And it goes along with his philosophy a little bit.
Another base hit for Atkins. Jamie Carroll will stop at second base. Rockies trying to rally with 2 outs. It'll bring Helton to the plate. Helton had a single and an RBI an inning ago.
Well, you knew it wasn't going to stick around with an average for Garrett Atkins at 100 for long. 2 hits already in this ball game. Another line drive single out to left field.
So of all the guys to worry about offensively, he's not one of them. Nor is this guy. Consistently behind in the count, Doug Davis. 56 pitches. It's almost a 50-50 split, balls and strikes. And now you really put the pressure on yourself. 2-0 to Helton.
Well, as a manager, you're putting pressure on the fact that you also got to get to that bullpen kind of early if things don't square up. That's the other thing. Well, the Diamondbacks will leave tonight. They've got a night game in Washington.
4-game set in Washington.
Come back home Sunday night to open the season against Cincinnati, and the Rockies come to town.
Well, he made a pitch on 2-0, and Helton bounces out. So the Rockies get a hit. There were 2 walks in the inning. They leave 2 on. After 2, Colorado leading 3-1. Rockies leading 3-1. Rodrigo Lopez, Doug Davis hooking up here. Clint Hurdle back in the dugout today after having to watch on television last night. Keith Blyer got to watch it live, didn't you, Keith?
I did, from exactly where I am standing, and it was significantly colder. You know, the temperature at first pitch for this one today was announced at 45 degrees. Not anymore. It is a beautiful day in Lodo. I have already lost the jacket, and the count is 0-1 to Miguel Montero here, the Diamondbacks catcher. Takes the second pitch for a ball. Count evens out to 1-1. So let's show the folks what happened late last night in the 11th inning after the Diamondbacks had taken a 3-2 lead. Another young talented player, Stephen Drew, coming through for the Snakes. It was the Coors Field Kids. Troy Tulowitzki drives one to right field. Actually, this is the game winner here that brought home the winning run. Iannetta with the knock through the left side, and there's an out. It was Tulowitzki that came up with the big double into right field off Eric Burns' wrist, and then Iannetta with the game-winning run in 11 innings. So 2 young players coming through last night, Drew.
They're 2 young, exciting players, and as Jamie Quirk, I think, summed up late last night, and we replayed the bite for you at the top of the broadcast, these 2 guys can play. This is not charity that they're being given an opportunity to start right now. They deserve to start, and they're going to be top-flight major league players. Based on the first 2 days, it could come pretty quickly. Doug Davis has been a very poor hitting pitcher in his career. Behind there, it's 0-2. In fact, Doug Davis in his career, 071, 16 for 226 at the plate. Last year he was a whopping 3 for 65. That computes to an 046 average. And he starts out 07 with a punch out.
Well, you look at the delivery of Lopez. This is why the guy throws strikes over and over again. It's very compact delivery, very well balanced. You look at his foot as it's square to the rubber, and as he starts his delivery, the leg comes up. Everything is balanced right here on this back leg. Shoulders are nice and square. You don't see any tilt here. But what gets a lot of the hitters, the quickness of his arm through the zone and how it repeats through that same area consistently with 4 pitches. That's why he doesn't walk many. That's why he has the ability to throw 4 pitches for strikes.
Only 1 man reached the first time through the lineup. That was Eric Burns, who hit a home run to left field. And here's a ball up the middle for a base hit for Stephen Drew. So with 2 outs, Drew is aboard, and that'll bring up Alberto Callaspo.
Hey, look at overall for Rodrigo Lopez. Has won 14 games in 3 of the last 5 seasons. The opening day starter, 3rd time in the last 4 years. He's 2nd American League Rookie of the Year voting in 2002. All of that done against the American League East, too. So, I mean, pretty good numbers against the Yankees, the Red Sox, Toronto Blue Jays.
Well, get this, George. 39 of his career 147 starts have come against either the Red Sox or the Yankees. That's more than 25%. That means there are no easy outs in the Yankees lineup or the Red Sox lineup. There is no pitcher. It's the American League. And he fashioned sub-4 ERAs in the American League East on several occasions. Ground ball toward Atkins. Good pickup. And he'll throw out Callaspo. Good inning for Rodrigo Lopez. Stephen Drew's left the board. 3-1 Colorado. Middle of 3. Holiday, Hop, and Tulowitzki next. Rockies All Access is in full swing. Follow Keith and Carissa as they walk amongst the 50,000 fans that crowded the city for the Rockies home opener. Your inside pass to the 07 season, Rockies All Access. Foul bat. Catch it tomorrow night at 6:30 and again at 9:30. It's the same episode, George. It's just if you missed the one at 6:30, they repeated it at 9:30.
I won't be able to catch either one of those because I'll be in San Diego, but would you please TiVo it at the house?
All right. I'll do that for you. Pulled to the third baseman, Tracy. And he'll throw out Matt Holliday. 1 out.
By the way, the Rockies are very proud to announce that they have opened a new dugout store location. It's in Flatirons Crossing for the 07 season. Stop by the newest location on the lower level by Gap to see the latest Rockies headwear and apparel, as well as the handle on your season tickets and ticketing for every ball game. 303-439-8326.
Hop takes up high. It's 2-0. A plethora of 2-0 counts so far in the ball game from Doug Davis. Hadn't worked that word in yet for you this year, George. I thought I would do it today on a Wednesday afternoon.
I was wondering why you kept saying that to me early this morning.
Just practicing.
Clint Hurdle back in the hot seat today after a day upstairs watching the ball game. He actually said, it's kind of nice to go. The game's a lot slower, 150 feet away.
And you said it's slower up here, but then when you start broadcasting, it gets quicker again, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does get quicker. I mean, a lot of things start happening as you watch, but as a manager, things are happening every half inning.
This ball toward the hole, but shaded over there on the outfield grasses. Orlando Hudson, 2 outs. I don't know if it was the debut in a Marlins uniform, but pretty close to it for Jorge Julio, who was with the Arizona Diamondbacks most of this spring, George. It did not go well in the 9th inning. Julio gave up 3 runs, and the Nationals came back and won 7-6 over the Marlins. So in a third of an inning, he gave up 3 runs on 5 hits and walked the batter. That is the only final in baseball so far today. Washington 7, Florida 6. Tulowitzki, big cut, 0-2. If you have a break in your windshield, I wonder whose windshield that was, take it to Elite Auto Glass, #1 for more than one reason. That's the pitch he struck out on his first time up, and he stayed off it there. A quick study, Troy Tulowitzki. Valverde struck him out late on Monday, and then last night he ripped a double against him. And this ball is tomahawked to center field. Burns is going to have to play it on a hop. Told you he's a quick study. Behind in the count, Tulowitzki with a 2-out knock. Gets a big high five and a wrap around the waist from the first base coach, Glenn Allen Hill.
I tried to look at the location of this thing, and a little bit lower than what the one was that he struck out on, but got on top of this baseball. Then his strength allowed it to carry into the outfield. Burns thought he might have had a play on it and played it off of his chest, kept Tulowitzki at first base.
Let's see if Yorvi Torrealba can help flip that lineup over here in the third. Torrealba grounded out to third, his first time up. So tough to read a left-hander's move. You know, you teach with a right-hander, you know, look at the heels, look at the back heel. If it comes up, you got to get back. Well, the lefty, so difficult.
Well,
what's the best school of thought you've heard on it, George?
One of the keys you look for is if that front foot passes behind the rubber, then he must go to the plate. I mean, that's one thing you look for. A lot of left-handers with that short stride. Another base hit back up the middle. He will flip the lineup. Tulowitzki has thoughts, and then those abruptly ended. Burns got over to the baseball. I think you got to wait till that foot passes beyond that 45-foot mark and go. And now a lot of guys, you know, it's difficult because some left-handers pick up high, they pick up low, they mix it up, they do different things, they step off and flip. And the guys with the excellent moves, you just don't think about stealing the base.
It's almost guesswork.
You just don't think about it. Guys with great moves, you just say, oh, no, I'm not stealing the base today. Today's the day I bunt, hit and run, make him get off the mound and make some plays.
Lopez walked last inning. So the Rockies, even if they don't score here, Torrealba allows them to get the pitcher out of the way here in the third inning and start at the top of the lineup in the fourth.
Third inning, 72 pitches. Wow.
George, it's very underrated. Hitting in that 8-hole, it's not easy. Mark Grace was talking about it, our colleague on the television side with Arizona, great player with the Cubs for many, many years. He said, man, people don't realize that's a tough place to hit. Now, Grace didn't hit in the 8-hole, but just being a student of the game.
Well, there's Gracie. No, he never found the 8-hole ever.
No, he was a 3-hole guy. 0-2, and Davis beats Rodrigo Lopez here. But Finley will lead off the bottom of the fourth for Colorado. Rockies up 3-1. Time for our Taco Bell game reset. Rockies got right after Doug Davis in the first. They got a little help with 1 out. Jamie Carroll gets picked off, but the tag was never applied. He went back to first, and Helton got a base hit to drive in Carroll, and then a wild throw by Connor Jackson brought in another run, and then Matt Holliday unloads a double to right center field. Helton would score 3-0. Eric Burns got one back on a solo home run, a line shot down the left field line against Rodrigo Lopez. So here we go in the top of the fourth. Orlando Hudson, Eric Burns, and Chad Tracy. 3, 4, and 5 to get their second look at Lopez. Now Hudson very familiar with Rodrigo. They played in the same division. Orlando, a former member of the Toronto Blue Jays. Hudson in his career, 3 for 12. Glad they bought a seat for him. The O-Dog, Orlando Hudson, 3 for 12 against Rodrigo Lopez. The guy that's done the most damage in their lineup against Lopez, another former American leaguer, is Eric Burns.
See, that's a nasty slider. I like that. A little cutter, fastball slider at 87 miles an hour. Knows how to pitch. I mean, he sinks it, cuts it, rolls it to the inside part. I mean, it's kind of nice to watch a guy carve up people at times like this.
Two and two. That's that cutter, George.
Busted in on the hand. See if they can get the head through quick enough to make solid contact. Nothing wrong with trying to attempt that.
This is a lineup for Arizona that's going to have to bunch hits to score their runs. They're not going to hit a ton of home runs. That home run by Burns, the first of the season. No swing. 3-2. The sliders hit back through the originator, a base hit for the O-Dog, Orlando Hudson.
Well, the Rockies take off on the road. They head to San Diego. Out there, they're going to get to face a couple of veterans and a #1. They get Greg Maddux, 15 and 14 a year ago, versus Jason Hirsch. You get to look at his debut with the Rockies, and then David Wells, Josh Fogg, and then it's Peavy and Aaron Cook going on Sunday. Good pitching matchups.
See if Rodrigo can get a ground ball here with Burns up and Orlando Hudson at first. Nobody out. 3-1 Colorado, top of 4. And he does. This should be 2, even with Burns running. Yeah, maybe not. Is everybody safe now? Hudson standing on second base.
Well, Jamie's not going to argue about it. Clint's going to come out.
This is the same thing that happened to the Rockies and Jamie Carroll in the first when Connor Jackson missed a tag. Now they're saying that Jamie Carroll never applied the tag on Orlando Hudson. You went from a ball off the bat thinking they're going to get 2 out of it, and instead you don't get anybody.
Let's see if he went and tagged him.
He did tag him.
Well, you can't tell really from there if he did or not. We will here. McClellan's looking right at him. Jamie thought he got him on the hip. Nope.
Well, maybe he did.
Nope. There's dirt and daylight. You can see it. How often in a game, folks, are you going to see? I mean, that's why I love baseball. You come to the game today, you see something you normally will never see again, and that's 2 slides at second and 2 missed tags.
Now you have a tough out in Chad Tracy. In the air, center field. Finley didn't get a good jump, and everybody's going to move up. Now the bases are loaded, nobody out. He didn't see that off the bat real well, and it drops for a hit. They're going to give Jamie Carroll an error on that previous play for missing the tag. Same deal as Connor Jackson in the first inning. Let me go back to that play by Carroll, and you know, the runner's right there, and you think, well, if I can tag him quick, I can fire to first. But are you better off flipping to the shortstop who's already standing on second base, George?
Well, that's 100% judgment, but yeah, I mean, you look at it in hindsight now, yeah, flip it on over and let the strong arm Tulowitzki try to finish up the turn. But Hudson was running himself right into an out, and then he thought you could complete the other side of that. Tell you, in day games here, outfielders from the opposing team and the Rockies will tell you, center field, one of the toughest spots to play when you mix in all the white shirts in behind and the look. As the ball comes out and catches the signs at times, you get a freeze on the ball for just that split second. And I think that's what happened to Finley. He froze just for a second.
This ball is going to be deep enough to get a run home. Tagging and scoring is Orlando Hudson. Burns will move up to third, 1 out, and it's a 3-2 ball game. Well, the Rockies have talked about playing their outfield shallower this year at Coors Field to take away just the kind of hit you saw a moment ago from Chad Tracy, but we've already seen probably 3 or 4 of those for Arizona in this series. Second 2007 RBI for Connor Jackson. Scott Hairston will step up. He had a fly ball to Hop his first time. 1-0 on Scott Hairston, who had a huge spring. He hit .419 with 7 home runs and 18 RBIs down in the Cactus League. Top toward third. Can the Rockies turn 2? Atkins trouble getting it out of his glove. Out at first base. Good turn by Jamie Carroll. That saved a run. Rodrigo Lopez did a very good job considering the bases were loaded and nobody out. Just 1 run comes around and the Rockies lead it 3-2 still. Steve Finley to step in to lead off the bottom of the 4th inning against Doug Davis, who's had control issues in the game. He's walked 4, has been consistently behind in the count. Finley a ground out to second, and then he lined into a double play. Started by Orlando Hudson, the second baseman. Loses the bat, and the ball is a little flare that's grabbed by Chad Tracy, 1 out. Let's go back to the 1st inning. Some odd plays. The pickoff by Davis. Now, Connor Jackson thinks he has tagged Jamie Carroll, but he misses him. And then in the 4th inning, you're going to see the same play again involving Jamie Carroll, this time on defense, and he misses Orlando Hudson. And then a nice turn, though, by Jamie Carroll to get the double play to end the inning. And here's Jamie at the plate right now with a 1-ball count. He has walked twice in the ball game. Both Jackson and Carroll were charged with errors. That's probably the only way you could score that. Or the most accurate way you could score that. Carroll last year, flawless at second base. He led the National League in fielding percentage. Did not win the Gold Glove, though. That went to Orlando Hudson, who was 4th in fielding percentage in the National League. Hudson the year before had won it in the American League. 2-1 on Jamie. And it's pulled to Chad Tracy. And with 2 outs, let's take a look at our Affleck trivia question on a Wednesday afternoon. So you're looking at Rodrigo Lopez. Only 10 American League pitchers have won more games than the 60 that Rodrigo has won since 2002. Name all 9 of them. Well, actually he's 11, so name all 10. Well, should we help out guys like Barry Zito? You'd think would be on that list, right, George?
Halladay, but he was hurt. How many games has Roy won?
I would still think he'd be on that list in the top 10. Atkins a pair of singles so far in the ball game.
Mark Mulder with Milwaukee, or excuse me, Oakland now with St. Louis.
Yeah, perhaps.
4 years over there.
Tim Hudson won a lot of games before he went to Atlanta.
Too many to choose from.
Bartolo Colon. Inside 3-1.
84 pitches. Wow, 4th inning.
I mean, you almost guarantee that he's out of there no later than the 5th inning.
Well, I mean, he hit second in the inning. So pretty good chance he'd be gone after this inning. The high pitch count, their bullpen's starting to loosen up a little bit right now. Think about that, 84 pitches, he's given up 6 hits, he's had a couple of errors behind him, yet it's a 3-2 ball game.
For a guy who was battling for the number 5 spot in the rotation and lost out, he's warming up Dustin Nippert, so he's kind of the long haul guy this first week of the season. One of the things Bob Melvin said when he came to Colorado, he said, we want to make sure we have plenty of arms in the bullpen. Atkins is gone. A 1-2-3 inning. Davis's best easily of the ball game. 3-2 Colorado. Time for our Affleck trivia question again, and the answer: 10 American League pitchers have won more games than Rodrigo Lopez since 2002. Rodrigo is 60 wins, and here's that list of pitchers. Barry Zito, Burley. There's Doc Holliday, Mike Mussina, Kenny Rogers, Johan Santana, Garcia, Garland, Colon, and C.C. Sabathia. Pretty good list.
By the way, best wishes to Kenny Rogers. It was a blood clot issue. Complained of a tired arm.
That's a fair ball. And Montero thrown out by his fellow backstop, Yorvi Torrealba, 1 out.
Hey, Sunday, April 22nd, the Diamondbacks are in town. To honor Earth Day, the Rockies have teamed up with XL Energy to give away a limited quantity of solar-powered calculators to the fans. Purchase tickets at a lot of the Rockies ticket outlets or just go online with ColoradoRockies.com.
Doug Davis looks like he's going to stay in the game. He would not have him hit otherwise.
Early in the season, I mean, you know, it's kind of crazy. Get a high pitch count up there.
I think Bob Melvin probably looked at it and said, all right, it's a 1-run game, and he pitched a very good 4th inning. See if you can get another inning out of him. If he struggled in the 4th, I would think that he would not be hitting here. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Davis. Davis briefly with Toronto in 2003. In fact, he was with Texas, Toronto, and Milwaukee in 2003. He's won at least 11 ball games each of the last 3 years with the Brewers. Swung on and missed. Davis, a strikeout victim again. 3rd strikeout for Rodrigo Lopez, and with 2 outs, Stephen Drew will come up.
You know what, you get a pitcher up there and you're just thinking, I'm going to get this thing over with, and that's where you throw that little hard slider down and away from him, get a strikeout, take advantage of it. 2 times in the ball game, he's punched Davis out.
But the contrast in pitch count, George. 48 pitches with 2 outs in the 5th inning. That's all for Rodrigo. He's been very efficient. And he really should have just 1 run against the home run by Burns. The run last inning, the Rockies blew an opportunity to at least get a force out, perhaps a double play. And then you had a soft single to center field on a ball that dropped in front of Steve Finley. With the sky the way it is this time of day, Finley didn't see it off the bat.
Tell you what, you look at it like that, Drew, you're almost looking at it realistically. Probably a 1-to-1 ball game if they make their plays too.
Yeah, you're right. The difference in the 2 pitchers today is Lopez has been far more efficient than Doug Davis.
Yeah, not even close.
Six hits for the Rockies, 4 hits for Arizona. Here's the 2-1 to Drew. He went around.
Yeah, and I don't see I have a lot of discussion to even look back at that, even though he tried to jerk it. You know what I mean? Tried to jerk that bat back after he committed. Still obvious that he made the effort to hit the ball.
Strike 3 on the outside corner. Lopez freezes Stephen Drew. And we'll go to the bottom of the 5th inning. Colorado 3 and the Arizona Diamondbacks 2. Beautiful pitch there. Back at Coors Field, the Rockies leading Doug Davis and the Arizona Diamondbacks 3-2. Bottom of the 5th inning. Todd Helton, Matt Holliday, Brad Hopp. And Todd looks at ball 1. Helton a single in the 1st. Bounce to the first baseman Connor Jackson his last time up. Todd at 444 through the first 2.5 ball games. Good eye there, 2-0 with George Frazier. I'm Drew Goodman upstairs. Keith Blyer working the stands. And it's 3-0. Rockies have 7 extra base hits so far this year. Not a big number.
How many?
Just 7. That's
pretty good through 2.5 ball games.
1 home run, that by Jeff Baker in the pinch on opening day. Friday night, get a look around the big leagues with FSN Baseball Report. We're covering every team all season long with highlights, interviews, and analysis you won't get anywhere else. It's the season premiere of FSN Baseball Report Friday at 6 p.m. right here on FSN Rocky Mountain. See if the Rockies, who had a 3-0 lead, get some separation again from Arizona. Holiday rips one to left field. Matt's second hit of the ball game. First 2 have reached against Davis. His pitch counts at 93. Bob Melvin, with Nippert going in the pen, may have a decision to make very soon.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not like lefty-lefty makes a big difference either. I mean, but that's maybe what he's thinking about with a hop up at the plate, try to get the left-handed, and you got Tulowitzki and Torrealba, and you're going to go right on right.
Well, the Rockies began in 1993. Their first 2 seasons played at Mile High Stadium. Since 95 here at Coors Field, and they're resting on 599 hometown wins all time.
By the way, this year you can watch, you can't be at home, but you can watch all the Rockies games on FSN. Just check out MLB.dot.tv. It's a good way to catch on. You can log on to the internet and watch every out-of-market Rockies game of the season live, or catch those you missed on demand. Sign up today for MLB.dot.tv. For more details, visit ColoradoRockies.com, where baseball is always on.
And that one you don't have to spell out, the dot.
It
you
was
gotta spell that one
Colorado
out.
Rockies, DOT.
Oh, you got to spell that one out
yes.
too. One and 2 on Brad Hopp. And the breaking pitch gets him. So Davis gets the strikeout on Hopp, 1 out. And Troy Tulowitzki will come up. Strikeout and a single.
Hopp not happy at all as he goes to the back to the dugout with nobody out. Runner in scoring position. Big sweeping slider on the outer half of the plate. He's able to get Brad Hopp.
4 strikeouts for Davis. And Tulowitzki fouls this one off behind the Rockies dugout, out of play. Troy Tulowitzki from the Santa Clara area in California. Not only a great baseball player, he was a heck of a basketball player growing up. In fact, senior year in high school, he averaged better than 22 points a game. You've watched a lot of high school hoops, George. It's hard to average 20 plus in high school.
Well, no question it's so hard to average the 20 plus. The position at the 2 guard and be able to handle the basketball, do a lot of things. Not many guys do that anymore. Unless you're on a really bad team, you get to take all the shots.
Yeah, Tulowitzki was 2nd team All-State in California. A little more insight into how good an athlete he is.
Yeah, you know, it's kind of interesting when you start talking to the scouting directors, guys like Bill Smith and the cross-checkers, and Dave Holiday. They ask those questions and they'll say, well, you know, you play any other sports? Yeah, basketball. Oh, really? What do you play? I mean, they've got it defined back to you don't just play, but what position? Well, 2, 3, I'm a point guard. Well, it tells you automatically, as you look at Bob Gebhardt, former general manager, now a special assistant. Pat Doherty's down there with him today. Dick Balderson watching the ball games. But it's, you know, what position, how it tells them how big of an athlete or good athlete that they were.
0-2 right now on Tulowitzki, the former 2-sport star. Rockies have a bunch of those. Strike 3 on Tulowitzki, and now it'll take a 2-out hit. And it'll be Yorvi Torrealba coming up.
Second straight time, Hopp with the strikeout on a slow curveball. This a called strike on a curveball to Tulowitzki for strike 3. 101 pitches in the ball game for Davis here in the 5th.
Torey Alba, when he played last year, he battled the shoulder injuries. Very productive offensively in a handful of games, a relative handful of games. 65 games last year. He drove in 43 runs. And this is slowly hit. This could be a problem. It will be. An infield hit for Torey Alba. Drew had no play. And now the bases are loaded for the pitcher, Rodrigo Lopez.
You know, I'm not saying Drew probably knew this, but I'm pretty sure that he realizes where he is in the lineup and don't take the gamble just to get the out at first base. If he throws the ball wild with Helton running and Holiday running, now all of a sudden you got a 5-2 ball game. You got Lopez coming up from the American League, hadn't swung the bat very much. Knowing the lineup, knowing where you are, and the opportunity not to make a bad play that could really cost your ball club.
You're not going to get a hit that way. Right now, Scott Hairston in left field, he can almost tap Stephen Drew on the back. Somewhat close. Oh, 2 on Rodrigo.
See, I was thinking this is where you do the fake bunt, jump out in front of the ball thing.
Get in the way of it.
Take the ribby. Take the run in the ribby and move on to first.
Hey, you know what? Try to get it in play somewhere. You never know.
Make somebody else try to catch it other than the catcher.
Helton at third, Holiday at second, Torey Alba at first, 2 outs. The 0-2 again. And Davis strikes out Lopez on his 105th pitch. Rockies 3, Diamondbacks 2. We're off to the 6th inning. That gentleman has seen a few baseball games in his time. Rockies 3, Diamondbacks 2. Top of the 6th inning, 2, 3, and 4 for Arizona. Alberto Callaspo getting his first start of the year. Orlando Hudson and then Eric Burns. Diamondbacks have suffered through 3 straight losing seasons. It's the first time in team history. Won a World Series in their 4th year, 2001. 3 division titles already for the Diamondbacks. And the first pitch outside, ball 1 on Callaspo. Rodrigo Lopez has handled him twice. Fly ball left field, ground ball to third. In on the grass right now is Garrett Atkins, protecting against the bunt, and that misses. It's 2-0. Lopez with a low pitch count, 56 or 49 less.
Well, early
Doug Davis.
Early pitch outs.
Line drive, and Jamie Carroll makes the play. Former Hoosier, he was a hoop player. Got up a little bit right there.
You can put 2 pieces of paper under and make that catch.
That's nice of you.
Well, he knows I'm only kidding with him, but he can shoot it. Tell you that, his brother's baseball team's doing pretty good at Evansville right now at the college ranks too. Here's that line drive, got enough of it, just a little humpback liner allowed Carroll to be able to make the play on the baseball.
Orlando Hudson singled and scored in the 4th, also popped to short. This ball is hit well, and it's a base hit. Did Hop come up with it? He got it. What a play by Brad Hop. That looked for all the world like it was going to drop in front of him. I don't need your glasses, George. Don't hand them to me. This line drive hung up, and Brad made a very good play.
It's the big old leather thing he's got on the end of his hand. That's right. And now he's kind of hung up right there. Okay, do I come get it? Do I stay back? I don't want this ball getting behind me. And then he just stays right on it right there. You just see it come into the glove. Nice catch by Hopper.
Burns a solo home run, line drive down the left field line in 2 trips. And he gets another fastball, and he unloads to right center field. And this one is going to short hop the wall. Burns around second will stop there. A 2-out double for Eric Burns. What a tremendous start to the season he's enjoying. That's his 7th hit already of the season.
7 for 13, a home run and 4 RBIs. That's a pretty good start out, huh? 538 average.
Chad Tracy is next for Arizona after the conference between Torrealba and Lopez. Torrealba from Caracas, Venezuela. Lopez, a native of Mexico. One of 13 players from Mexico currently in the big leagues. Rockies nursing a 1-run lead. We're in the 6th inning. Speed range today brought to you by Panasonic Plasma.
Pretty good variance right there, 73 to 89. And
we had him at 94 on the second pitch of the game.
yeah, there's a couple of them at 90, 93. I thought on some fastballs early in this ball game. You're right, at 94 popped up early. Average high at 89, the average low at 73.
Good pitch on 2-0. He got him out front a little bit, and it should be an easy play for Steve Finley. Nicely done. Tough out Chad Tracy with a man in scoring position. So Burns left at second, middle of 6th, 3-2 Rockies. Wednesday afternoon crowd at Coors Field. Rockies will have a day off tomorrow. It's a travel day. San Diego, Los Angeles, then the Diamondbacks in Phoenix upcoming. The Rockies with a 3-2 lead. Drew Goodman, George Frazier, Keith Blyer roaming the ballpark. New arm out there for Arizona. Dustin Nippert, who's at least initially this year, George, will work long haul. He was battling for the 5th starter spot during spring training.
6'8", 225 pounds, a right-hander drafted in the 15th round in 2002. His last couple of years in the minor leagues have been outstanding. 21 and 11. Made 24 starts last year for Tucson, then 140 innings, struck out 130. We saw him on numerous occasions against the Rockies in spring training.
Finley takes ball 1.
His fastball, 90 to 94 mile-an-hour range, slider, changeup. Occasionally he'll show a curveball just to let the hitter know that it's there. There's a changeup at 84 miles an hour for the out of Finley.
Finley's gone, and Jamie Carroll will come up. Strike at the knees. And Jamie, ooh, look out, lines it off the edge of the dugout and into the crowd. 0-2. Interesting outing for Doug Davis. I'll go over it in a moment.
Well, it's interesting because he had an awful lot of traffic. Here's a base hit for Jamie, right back up the middle. His first base hit in 07.
The outing for Davis, 5 innings, gives up 3 runs. None of them were earned. 8 hits. He walked 5. That's a ton. He did strike out 6. Let's check in again with Keith Blyer. Keith?
Still in my shirt sleeves, guys. As long as you're in the sun, it's very nice. In the shade, it's a little bit chilly. I'm hanging out with the King family. They are here all the way from Las Vegas, Nevada, where it's only 98 degrees right now. Actually, Dad here is a Denver native, so they've come to watch their favorite baseball team, the Colorado Rockies. And it's the last chance you get for a couple weeks because the Rockies are on the road for 10 days and 9 games, their first 19 against National League West opponents. Of course, the series that George Frazier was talking about a couple innings ago coming up this weekend should be a fun one out in San Diego against the Padres. And Jason Hirsch will make his pitching debut for Colorado on Friday. Who will he face? Well, I asked Jason in the dugout last night, who's the pitcher for San Diego in your matchup? And he said, some old guy, which we were clearly joking around because that old guy is a hero of Jason Hirsch's. That would be Greg Maddux. Maddux versus Hirsch. Greg has roughly 330 more career victories than Jason. And that's just the first of a bunch of great pitching matchups. Josh Fogg and Boomer, David Wells on Saturday. And then on Sunday, it's Aaron Cook and Jake Peavy. And all Jake Peavy did yesterday, Drew, was get the best of the new ace of San Francisco, Barry Zito. So this weekend, first 2 games on FSN and the Sunday game on My 20. Looking forward to it. I'll be tuning in, boys.
We'll be tuning in also,
well,
Keith.
We're going to send it to you on the couch in the 3rd and the 6th, and you give us a report, all right?
There you go.
The horizontal reporter, that is Keith Blyer, when the Rockies are on the road. I usually have 1, if not 2 twins crawling all over me, but there's no place to be.
There you go. Keith, stay out of the sun. You got that red hair. Here's the 0-2, and it's fouled off again by Garrett Atkins. Garrett 2 for 3 in the game. A couple of singles and a strikeout against Doug Davis. Rockies got all 3 of their runs in the first inning. They've left 10 men on base in this ballgame. Little bit misleading because 5 of those have been left on by Rodrigo Lopez with 2 outs, and you're not going to expect a lot from Rodrigo Lopez, who has 22 career at-bats with 1 hit. Outside, 1-2. And that misses. You know, George, I didn't realize this until I read about it today. Rockies in their purple jerseys. Last night they wore their purple jerseys. Do you realize in all of 06, I usually chart these sorts of things.
I do?
Yeah, they did not wear their purple jerseys once. It's been since early in September of 05, the last time the Rockies broke out the purple jerseys.
Who was the guy that wore them all the time? Mighty Bo. Bohannon loved the big. He liked the big.
He thought he looked a little leaner in the purple jersey.
I thought he looked like, not the Cookie Monster. What's the other guy? Barney. Yeah, I had a little Barney.
He looked like Barney?
Got a little Barney working.
Yeah. Runner going, line drive, glove by Drew, and this will turn into it.
Maybe.
No, the ball's thrown away. You're right.
Maybe.
Man, oh man. You know what? And Stephen Drew just lobbed that over. You want to make sure of it. He lobbed it over, and they lose the opportunity to get Jamie Carroll, who was standing on second base.
Second error on Drew in the season. Again, it's just a young kid mistake, thinking, all right, I'll just flip it on over there. Makes a great play on the throw, and then here, let me just lob it over. No. I mean, Jackson did what he's supposed to do. He stayed down on it. He's going to keep it in front of him, and then it hops over him. Coach, kids, let me say this. If you're watching this game at home today, defensively on the right side, no on the left, it's not a good day to TiVo this one.
Do you know, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
They already put an error up on the board, but how can you give an error? You can never assume a double play, and there was no advancement by the runner.
Because it was a bad throw that ended on the tarp.
Play. You're
why,
right.
all right.
You give a boo-boo for him.
Run on downstairs and ask the guy. I mean, he threw an 80-foot throw. He threw it 60 feet, and it bounced over the guy's head, and he's safe.
Helton to center field, pretty deep. Burns going back, still going back, and he'll track it down. It does not matter. Rockies do not score. 3-2 they lead. We'll go to the 7th. Our Valero energy to take you anywhere has been the work of Rodrigo Lopez today. 6 innings. He's given up a couple runs on 5 hits, has not walked the batter, George. He has struck out 4, and this has been a very fine debut as he's set to go in the 7th inning. And George, the pitch count at 62, he's averaging 10 pitches an inning.
Well, he's getting a lot of early pitch outs. And what I mean by that, guys going after that first fastball, and it's a little cutter. He's getting some pop flies. He's got some guys rolling over the baseball. The Rockies do have Affelt the lefty. It looks like Corpus the righty up throwing in their bullpen.
First batter is Connor Jackson. Jackson fly ball to right field twice. The second time it drove in a run. It was a sac fly. Juan Cruz throwing in the Arizona bullpen. And this should be an out. Nice throw by Tulowitzki. On that routine ground ball, you see the arm strength of Troy Tulowitzki. That's a mistake Stephen Drew made last inning. He wanted to make sure the throw and just kind of Cadillac'd it over to first. Sometimes, George, you did this, I know, when you fielded balls on comebackers. You fired it to first base.
If I would take my time and throw it, I'd give away more souvenirs than any pitcher in baseball. I threw it over there. I mean, anytime I tried to, I don't want to say, you know, you just kind of go half speed with it, your arm speed, then that's when you make a mistake because you let the wrist get under it. All kinds of bad things are going to happen.
Here's Scott Hairston. Fastball away. I know you also did that with when you were given an intentional walk.
Yes, I did. If you lob it, you'll throw it fired up over the catcher's head to the screen more times than not. I threw it hard on double plays to second. Turn and fire that thing, man.
Hairston hits it in the air straight away. Finley camped underneath, 2 quickly gone in the 7th. This season, Cardell Homes is sponsoring Home Runs for Hunger. Each time a Rocky hits a home run, Cardell Homes will donate $100 to the food bank of the Rockies. To learn more about Home Runs for Hunger or to pledge your support, go to cardellhomes.com. Click on the Home Runs for Hunger icon. Cardell spelled C-A-R-D-E-L.
Don't forget about the 55 and older group. It's the Silver Sluggers Senior Activity Fan Club here at the ballpark. Just for $79, 2 shaded field level seats for 6 games throughout the season, gifts, contests, and a whole lot more. 303 Rockies for more information.
1-1 on Miguel Montero.
By the way, it just came back from Elias. You know, we had a discussion in the 1/2 inning about assuming a double play, how you can, and they say in that situation, from the rule book, it states in Elias and all that, that you can assume that that would have been an out, and it is an error. That's why the error was given to Stephen Drew.
Okay.
We have people running all over the ballpark on fact-finding missions and getting the answers for it.
And a 3-1 pitch is punched the other way for a base hit by Montero. And that's going to bring big Tony Clark to the plate. And Bob Apodaca rushes out of the dugout. Now, I know in yesterday's ball game, one of the reasons Jamie Quirk held back Jeremy Affelt was for Tony Clark in extra innings. If Clark was to come up, he wanted to bring in Affelt to flip him around to the right side. He's got Affelt up right now. Tony Clark's dangerous from either side, but like all switch hitters, more of his work throughout his career has been done from this side.
Well, and you know, this is the thing. You're late in the ball games. Clark gets paid to hit home runs in late in games, and this is where Melvin's taking his one shot with his guy off the bench who can leave the yard. This is where you just go make your pitches. I mean, if you're a pitching coach coming out, I mean, I want to hear from that guy, hey, go get your stuff. If you think you can get him out down and away, go get him. You know, just try to get out of this inning and get this thing over with. You pitched great so far. Let's just go get Clark. Tony Clark, pigeon-toed type stance at 6'8". Long, powerful swing.
1 for 11 in his career against Rodrigo Lopez. That one was a home run. The career numbers for Clark. He's had a very nice career. Tallest switch hitter in the history of the game. He stands about 6'7½". Here's the 1-0. And it misses. 2-0. Stephen Drew is on deck. 2 outs. Miguel Montero at first base. Rockies ahead 3-2. It's been this way since the 4th inning. 3 in the first for the Rockies, a single run in the second, and 4th for Arizona against Rodrigo Lopez. That fastball was up, fouled straight back. 2-1. His year 2 years ago was just ridiculous. 349 at bats. He had 304 with 30 home runs and drove in 87. That's basically a half a season worth of at bats with a full season worth of numbers. Beat him on a fastball tailing away. It's 2-2. Good pitch by Lopez.
89 miles an hour. He cut 2 fastballs for balls, and he ran that heater up a little bit. Clark missed it. This one he doesn't catch up to. Late tail right on the upper half of the plate. Went back and got a little extra.
They want to come in on Clark, and they got him. Tailing fastball in the inner half. What a pitch by Rodrigo Lopez, freezing the pinch hitter Tony Clark. Middle of 7, stretch time at Coors Field. The Rockies leading the Diamondbacks 3-2. Here comes the manager shaking Lopez's hand. Now, was it nice job getting Tony Clark, or was it nice job today? I think it was more nice job getting Tony Clark.
Yeah, I do too. Although the Troy Hawkins starting to throw down in the bullpen, I still think might be.
You know, and here's the thing: 7 innings. Well, you know, first start of the year, you say, "Oh, you got to get him out." Well, he's only got 75 pitches basically.
He
Here's
was
Juan
fine.
Cruz.
Yeah, well, but that's still fine. 7 innings, don't worry about it. Juan Cruz, 31 ball games a year ago, 94 2/3, 88 punch-outs. And by the way, Elias flew out of the sky and changed it again. There was no error on Stephen Drew at shortstop. Now it's been changed. Don't agree with it, but it's been changed.
So you can't assume the double play.
Whatever. He threw it to the tarp. You ought to be penalized because the guy would have been in the dugout.
Holiday with a couple of hits today.
Saved about 30 pitches.
Cruz got the win opening day, pitched a 1/3 of an inning. Struck out Troy Tulowitzki looking. Here's the 1-1 to Holiday. Slider, center field and deep. Burns going back, out of here. Matt Holliday straightaway center field. First home run of the year, 4-2 Colorado. I didn't think he got it that good, George, did you?
You know, you never know with Holiday whenever he's swinging the bat. I mean, you really don't how much he does get it because he's so strong. And the ball hangs on that bat for a while. I don't care how many home runs you hit the year before. I don't care how many you've hit in your career. The first one every year is awfully sweet to get. That was a slider that he just uncorked on a dead center field, 415 feet away.
Big Daddy is some kind of strong.
Well, he likes that first one. I know there's going to be a lot of people happy down in North Carolina that Tom Holliday's dad and his mom watch all the ball games. Uncle Dave works for the Rockies as a national cross-checker.
Hop stays off that pitch. It's 2-1. I didn't think it was that bad a pitch from Cruz's standpoint.
Well, that's a pretty good slider down and away. He just went down and got it. The guy can hit.
He can hit to all fields, and he is ridiculously powerful. Big home run there, giving the Rockies a late 2-run separation.
Yes, that's a slider down and away almost to the end of the bat, but Holiday knew he got it good. You can tell the way he swung the bat. Well, he needs to hit a lot of home runs because last year the Rockies were 21-12 when Holiday hit a home run. That's a pretty good number. Watch it leave.
That's a pretty view of it.
See, from that angle, I knew it was gone.
You're on top of things, George. Is that an error on Stephen Drew last inning?
I
Can't recall.
That was an error. I don't care what Elias says. I don't care what you say. I don't care what they say downstairs.
No, you care,
when you
do
can't
care
play,
what I say.
when you can't make the catch over to first base, just throw the ball over, not end up on a tarp. Come on.
Tulowitzki squared around the bunt. Torrealba's on deck. 2 doors down is Lopez.
You know, I think the only reason I think that Lopez might be gone is because Clint mentioned in the start of this ball game today, he said, I'd like to get Mabry involved in this game. You know, in a game. He's the only guy that hadn't been out there yet, and it would be an opportune time to pinch hit him and let LaTroy have the 8th and then Fuentes the 9th. Just to,
And again, and LaTroy, you know this, George, from years in the bullpen, there's times when a guy's kind of lobbing and just and sort of getting ready just in case. He's firing bullets down there as if he's coming in the ball game.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you, Drew. I think he is. He's getting ready to come into the ball game. It'd be 3rd game in a row he's pitched in.
1-1 on Tulowitzki. And that goes to the backstop. Miguel Montero had it go off his glove. Thank you very much. And on the pass ball, Hops in scoring position. J.D. Durbin is getting loose in the D-backs pen.
That's just a slider that a lot of catchers guilty of spinning on a slider. What I mean, they rotate those knees to the right instead of reach out and snatch the baseball and keep it out in front of you and keep it in the strike zone.
There's Durbin. Nobody out in the bottom of the 7th. The Rockies ahead 4-2. 2-2. Colorado trying to take 2 of the first 3 of the 07 campaign. Trying to get a good start in the NL West. Their first 19 inside the division. They'll play 18 times overall against Arizona this year. They lost the season series each of the last 2 years. 11-7 and 12-7. Bob Melvin's club. A couple of veteran pitchers at the top. Hernandez and Webb, and of course Randy Johnson when he comes back in a couple of weeks. And a lot of young position players. 2-2, just missed 3-2. Foul back. Yorvi Torrealba's on deck. Trying to peek into the dugout, see if John Mabry is around the bat rack. The right-hander out there. He would be the likely candidate. There he is. And the bat rack's right behind him, George. How about
it's where a good pinch hitter ought to hang around.
Right around the bat rack. Always have a helmet on. Foul back again.
Just to, you know, if the manager happens to glance over, he kind of, hey, he's ready.
He's ready.
All I got to do is send him up. He's already got his helmet on. He's playing, imagine that, playing with a bat.
Now you want to see your role players in one of 2 spots. The bat rack or down the steps of the dugout hitting off the tee. Or maybe upstairs hitting live in the cage.
Yeah, they got that Iron Mike machine up in the cage. And just put like 50 balls in there and they just keep firing them at you. You can go in there and get your timing down pretty good.
Tulowitzki went around. He loses that battle with Cruz. That's the first out. And that'll bring up Torrealba. Well, they also have another Iron Mike, and he's kind of like a machine. They call him Iron Walt. And that's Walt Weiss, who will throw to hitters during the game. You know, a new rule this year. It's not a new rule. It's a rule that's always existed, but it's never really been enforced. But it is now throughout baseball, and that is there can only be 6 coaches in the dugout. The Rockies on home games always had Walt Weiss in uniform, and this year they're going to have Walt and Vinny Castilla in uniform. Well, they're in uniform before the game, but once the game starts, they can't be in the dugout anymore. Vinny and Walt been moving around television to television down in the clubhouse. Vinny said, man, it gets boring. He said, I'm starting to eat a lot. He said, so I'm going to have to start working out during these games while I watch the game. Otherwise, I'm going to really put on weight.
Well, and the rules should apply to certain situations, I think. You know, I think sometimes you can get too many guys in the dugout, too many people that aren't personnel or game personnel. But guys like Johnny Pesky, I mean, come on, he's been in the game 75 years, and you kick him out of the dugout in Boston on home games. I mean, it's crazy.
See if the Rockies can get another run here. Two for three in the first ball game of the year for Yorvit Torrealba. You got to get started real quick with Juan Cruz out there. Got to whip it for an arm. 94 to 98 consistently with his fastball. Just has never settled into one role as a big leaguer. They'll pick the second.
You know what, though? I think this is the best role suited for him because of his fastball that can get in the mid-90s at times, pretty consistent over 90. Slider anywhere from 79 to 85 miles an hour. I mean, this could be the one-inning exposure type deal because of the looseness of his delivery and his arm, that he's able to rebound and come back a couple of days in a row, which is always important to a manager. This could be the spot. I mean, where he gets comfortable down in the bullpen and comfortable throwing strikes.
Brad Hopp walked. He's at second after a pass ball. Holiday a home run this inning. 4-2 Colorado. It remains 1-2 on Yorvit Torrealba. Matt got around the bases a little quicker, George, with that new aerodynamic haircut also.
He came out this morning for batting practice. Had a wool cap on covering those ears up. It was a little chilly out here early this morning.
Hudson playing almost right behind second base, trying to keep Hopp close. Give his outfielders a chance. Strike three on the inside corner. Torrealba knew it.
Pretty good sequence there by Cruz. Slider, 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 and then gas in at 96 miles an hour. I mean, you know, you think you're going to go. You just saw him strike out Tulowitzki with a slider away. Now you're going to start to think about it again, and then it's just wham. Late movement. May not have been the exact location he wanted it, but it was pretty good gas.
There's greater margin for error when you throw in the upper 90s, isn't it?
Yeah. I call them gifts.
Yeah,
There's just not enough guys. I mean, you know, Bob Gibber and I were talking about that yesterday. He said, you know, the average fastballs jumped from when I pitched at 86 to 90. And I agreed with him partially out of the bullpen. You don't see many starters consistently above 90. You see a lot of guys coming out of the bullpen above 90. You know, that are going to throw the 90 to 95 mile an hour fastballs, but starting wise, you don't see that. I think the average among starters is down a little bit from where it's been in the past.
Brandon Webb, Cy Young Award winner, he rarely throws the ball above 90 miles an hour. Greg Maddux, who has a whole room full of Cy Youngs, he never threw the ball above 90.
Tom Glavine, I mean, the list is long of guys that are still out there throwing, but I mean, it's amazing to me that, you know, you look at these charts and then they tell you the average fastball is 88 to 90.
John Mabry's Colorado Rockies debut. And this is where you will see him late in games, typically in RBI situations. Rockies ahead 4-2. One of the top pinch hitters in the game over the last decade.
You know, one of the reasons they got him here is because of his ability to hit at Coors Field. A 398 average at Coors Field in his career.
Yep. Those numbers with plenty of at-bats. I mean, it's one thing if you had 20 at-bats.
Remember, Cubs, Cardinals that he played with. He visited in here quite often.
1-0 on Mabry, way inside. It's 2-0, and he had a great spring. He was in quite a battle. I mean, it was probably, as it turned out, George, the premier battle of the spring, because Tulowitzki won the job fairly early over Clint Barmas. It became almost a foregone conclusion. Javi Lopez was released early because of Ionetta's emergence. The best battle in spring training was for that last spot between Spilborghs, Mabry, and Alexis Gomez, and all three had terrific springs. 2-1, nasty pitch there. Good slider by Cruz.
Well, it's that back foot slider to lefties because it's so difficult. It appears to be a fastball inside, and as you go to attack the baseball, it just bottom drops out of it and breaks down and in. So if contact's made, you're typically going to pull that pitch foul.
Broken bat, pop up, easy play in foul territory. Chad Tracy makes the catch. Hop is left at second base. The Rockies get a run on the home run to center field by Matt Holliday. Today's call to the bullpen is brought to you by Comcast Digital Home Phone Service. Call 1-800-COMCAST for unlimited local and long distance. Rockies, as we go to the 8th, leading the D-backs 4-2. Well, Matt Holliday last year hit 34 home runs. And he's got number 1 this year in the bottom of the 7th inning to extend the Rockies' lead to 4-2. 3 hits today for Holliday. Single, double, and that home run you just witnessed. We go to the 8th inning, and for the 3rd time in 3 ball games, here comes LaTroy Hawkins, and he'll face the top of the order, Stephen Drew, Alberto Callaspo, and Orlando Hudson. So he'll see 3 left-handed bats. Good outing yesterday after a rough debut for Hawkins. Took the loss, gave up 3 runs on opening day when the Rockies were ahead 6-5, but he was very good yesterday.
Well, yesterday he just pounded the strike zone. He had everything down. He had a good downward plane working. He was nervy. He wasn't as hyper, I should say, on opening day. Yesterday was pretty good.
That's a fair ball, and help puts up the glove. He'll run to the bag. 1 out.
And he's guarding the line. As you look down to the bullpen, I mean, this is the recipe you wanted. You see, there's Brian Fuentes with the rubber bands getting himself loose. It's one of 5 exercises he will do before he ever throws a baseball. And his preparation of getting ready to go out and pitch the 9th inning.
Callaspo 0 for 3. That pitch runs away at 92, ball 1. What a day for Rodrigo Lopez in his first game in a Rockies uniform. 7 innings, gives up just 2 runs on 6 hits, did not walk a batter, and struck out 5. What a big final out he got, George, with Tony Clark up there in a 2-2 count. He froze him with a fastball in the inner half.
Tailed back over that inner half as he threw it right at the inside part of the plate. Clark, being a big man, just kind of stood up thinking the ball was going to stay inside. And caught enough of the plate, and at 6'7.5", a little bit higher up in the strike zone, got the called strike.
Four runs, 10 hits for the Rockies, and an error. 2 runs, 6 hits, 2 errors on Arizona. 2-1 on Callaspo as you look at the right side of the defense for the Rockies. Now back 2-2. Really the only guy that hurt Rodrigo Lopez, George, Eric Burns. He hit the home run and the double.
Well, those only balls hit hard at all. Did a nice job today. Tell you, the guy won 15 games twice, 14 another time. He was an opening day starter, 3 out of the last 5. I mean, it's not like he was an afterthought over in Baltimore and he wasn't a very good player. Well, that ball's not going to hang up long enough for Hop to make a sliding catch as he did earlier in the ball game.
That'll bring up Orlando Hudson with 1 out and Callaspo at first.
Now let's go back and look at this Sonic good replay on Tony Clark. It's pitch by pitch. Here's that fastball down and in. Then he goes away with the hard sinker, trying to get him to roll over the top. Threw the fastball up, fouled it off. Fastball by him. And then the punch out. Boy, that was beautiful. You can see both hands extend up. Good replay brought to you by Sonic to end the 7th inning, and a great job by Lopez in this ballgame.
1-0 on Orlando Hudson. 34-year-old LaTroy Hawkins out of Gary, Indiana, in his 11th big league season. Perfect pitcher's body, 6'5", and 215 pounds. Misses again there, 2-0. Struggled against lefties last year with the Orioles. They hit .323 against him. One of the huge keys to success for a pitcher, can you make a pitch in a hitter's count? Made a pitch right there in a hitter's count. It's 2-1.
Pitching backwards. You get the fastball situation, confidence and ability to throw the hard slider or a changeup. Back off of the fastball, create some downward movement. Get your ground ball out.
And 2-2. If you have a break, look out, in your windshield, take it to Elite Auto Glass. #1 for more than one reason. That car's lucky.
Well, from the sound of things, some car wasn't so lucky.
Callaspo at first. Rockies looking for 2 up the middle. Here's the 2-2. Hit in the air, foul, and out of play behind the tarp on the third base line. Doug Davis started today for Arizona. It was his Diamondback debut. He lasted just 5 innings. He walked 4 in the ball game. He threw 105 pitches in 5 innings. Lopez in 7 innings threw in the mid-70s in terms of pitch count. Left field, Holiday has to retreat, really retreat, and make the catch now on the edge of the track. That ball really had some carry to it. And hustling back to first is Callaspo. 2 outs. And that'll bring up Eric Burns.
And that'll bring Bob Apodaca out of the dugout to visit with LaTroy Hawkins to talk about Burns. Clint Hurdle realizing 3rd day out on the mound for Hawkins. He has Corpus and Affel both going down in the bullpen. Corpus has been overpowering. That's the only way you could put it.
Meeting is done. Eric Burns against Rodrigo Lopez in the 2nd inning turned on a inside fastball and launched it to left field. Burns flirted with the flagpole on opening day, and this time was able to, from his standpoint, get it on the right side of the flagpole. Home run aboard on an error in the 4th, and a double. Double was to deep right center field. 7 hits this season already for Burns. Quick strike.
I found out in this series so far that if you ride the ball up in the strike zone and away from Burns, he's been able to get on top of it and drive it with some authority to the opposite field. Torrealba goes to that outside corner, sitting off of the plate. Pretty good pitch. Squared up Torrealba, just not on the plate. Paul Schreiber decided this was not a strike. down low in the strike zone. Probably caught enough real estate over the plate to be called a strike. It was just down.
Burns 3 for 7 in his matchups with Hawkins. There's the 1-1 with 2 outs in the 8th. That's on the corner. No question. Good spot there by Latroy.
Pitcher's pitch. I mean, and Burns realizes that. He's waiting for a mistake to be made that he can capitalize on, and Hawkins isn't giving him any mistakes. That's pretty nasty right there. See, I was caught by Torrealba, just reached out, snatched, and pulled up and held.
Torrealba looking in the dugout for a moment. See that in college a lot. Get pitches from the dugout. Does it happen much in the big leagues, George?
No, not very often. It's more with the running game, more of on a 1-2 count, you know, the 2-run ball game where you're going to
pitch
throw
out
through. What are you going to do with it? A slider, and you got Burns to reach on. 86-mile-an-hour slider to go along with that fastball that's hitting the mid-90s.
Casper does not figure to be running.
I would think so.
It's an inconsequential run. It's one thing if he's a tying run.
It was kind of, you know, you ask about calling pitches out of the dugout. Bob Shirley, good friend of mine, lives in Tulsa. Roger Craig wanted to call every pitch out of there, and so finally Bob just called timeout. Roger walked to the mound and he goes, "What's the problem? Are you hurt? Is something going on?" He said, "No, if you want to call the pitches here, you throw them. I'm going to the dugout."
1-2, got him with the slider away. Nice pitching by. Strikes out the cleanup man, Eric Burns, with Callaspo aboard. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Rockies 4, Diamondbacks 2. It's a bit of pitching by Latroy Hawkins, a tough man at the plate, and Eric Burns, a guy that's very hot to begin the season. He placed the fastball to get the second strike on the outside corner, George, and then he got him to chase a hard slider away.
Yeah, tough out the way Burns has swung the bat here. 7 for 13 in this series so far with a home run, 4 RBIs. And he was able to come through and win the battle against Eric Burns and preserve it. Picks up a hold there. Fuentes getting loose for the night.
Here's J.D. Durbin.
Yeah, last season, another one of those players that was exposed to the big leagues. Just 4 games, high earned run average, pitched well in spring training. 20,171 in attendance today for the ball game.
Durbin, a former number 2 pick of the Minnesota Twins back in the 2000 season. Out of Coronado High School in Scottsdale, Arizona. .3-0 on Steve Finley. That may have been south of the knees, called a strike. That's a strike also. Finally, Finley says, "You know what, if they're going to keep calling that low strike, I'm going to have to swing at it," and he grounds out. 1 out, and that'll bring up Jamie Carroll. Jamie's been aboard 3 times today in his first start of the year. A couple of walks and a single. As we take a look at our Quest in-game box. Garrett Atkins, a couple of hits. Holiday with 3 of them, including a double and a home run. Torrealba, some noise from the 8-hole today. Durbin was quite an athlete in Arizona. Good football player, obviously a good baseball player. 3 times as a kid, he was the state punt, pass, and kick champion. Remember that, George? They still have it, actually, punt, pass, and kick.
I do remember it, yes.
Did you ever compete in that?
No. Well, you know, I might have. I can't remember.
Well, that's a long time ago when you talk about your youth.
46 years ago.
This ball is hit to left field. It's going to drop. Another hit for Jamie Carroll. So a nice first start for Carroll. 4 times on base in 5 trips.
Couple of walks, couple of hits.
Time for our Kawasaki Let the Good Times Roll. Good night for the bullpen last night, and the Rockies win in 11 innings. And the pen continuing their work with LaTroy Hawkins today in the 8th inning. They've retired that first hitter, and that is so, so important. Kawasaki Let the Good Times Roll. Up high to Atkins with Helton on deck. Durbin throws over. Durbin was a wide receiver primarily in high school, and good enough that Arizona State offered him a full ride. He turned it down to sign with the Twins when they drafted him number 2. Two 2-0. See if Jamie will be moving. Nope. High, 3-0. Bob Melvin's team will board their chartered aircraft and head to our nation's capital after this one. 4 games against the Nationals, and then they return home. Ball 4. So on 4 pitches, Atkins walks. Carroll goes to second. Durbin will have to face Todd Helton. Ryan Price in a semi-sprint to the mound. Here's what's coming up for the Rockies. Long road trip out west. It'll begin in beautiful San Diego. Greg Maddux against Jason Hirsch on Friday after a day off tomorrow. Then Boomer, David Wells against Josh Fogg on Saturday. Jake Peavy, Aaron Cook will hook up on Sunday, the 2 number 1s for their respective teams. And then it's off to Los Angeles. In fact, the Rockies will drive up Route 5 to LA. They'll take on the Dodgers, and then they'll go to Arizona the following weekend after an off day and take on the Diamondbacks once again. Rockies had a great start to their road campaign last year, George. Remember, they won 10 of their first 13.
Yeah, played extremely well. That was the biggest question mark, was on the road. Then it's against the National League West. And I think they feel comfortable on the road now. Now they just got to play well against the West.
Had a big sweep where they scored 32 runs in San Diego last year in their first series at Petco. They've always played well at Petco.
A lot of home runs hit at Petco that wasn't there before. Went like 8 in a 3-game series.
For the Rockies.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. The Rockies had 8 home runs, I think, in those 3-game series to start out in San Diego.
Yeah, I mean, San Diego's still trying to find a way to hit the ball out of the ballpark at home. Rockies like it there. Here's the 0-1 to Helton. That's there too, 0-2. Helton has him just where he wants him. Rockies have left a small neighborhood on today in this game. 12 left on base. This ball driven to left field with authority, and it's going to touch down in fair ground. Carroll will score. Here's Atkins. He gets the stop sign late. A double by Todd Helton. It is 5-2 Colorado. Told you he had him right where he wanted him. 0-2 pitch, line drive, double to deep left field down the line.
Yeah, second RBI of the season for Todd Helton. Second RBI today in this ball game, and it brings Matt Holliday up, who's doubled, singled, and hit a home run. And it's just so much power that when his bat speed comes through, he has the ability to keep the ball in fair territory. Well, this infield will come in a 5-2 ball game. And
one out, and the Rockies with a great opportunity to break this thing open late. Inside on Holliday, a couple of ribbies out there for Matt. He's driven in 2 in the ball game. He's got 3 on the young season. Ground ball, base hit through the hole. Helton around third. He gets the green light. Here's the throw to the plate by Hairston. It's in time, but a great slide by Helton, and he's safe. Holiday to second. 7-2 Colorado. 2 more ribbies for Holiday. He's got 4 on the afternoon.
How about that? Good sinker down and in by Durbin. It's going to get through the left side of this infield with it pulled in. Helton sees the ball get through. He's moving as quick as he can. Gallegos sending him the throw from Harrison. Right on the money, but not a very good tag applied by Montero. Look at Helton slide out of the reach of it. The hand got the plate area before the tag was applied, and then Todd headed to the dugout in a hurry. Nice tag. A nice slide. That was outstanding.
It was an outstanding slide because the ball beat Helton to the plate. 7-2 Rockies, still just 1 out. Holiday at second base, an 0-1 count on Brad Hopp. 0 for 2 and 2 walks today. "13 hits for Colorado. So many question marks for many going into this year for Todd Helton. He battled health issues last year. He battled them really 2 years ago. He's off to a tremendous start. Well, they've taken Brian Fuentes and said put a jacket on. Affelt with the 5-run lead is up, and Taylor Buchholz. Buchholz is the only Rocky on the 25-man roster who has not played yet. And I would assume in this situation, the way Clint operates, he likes to utilize his bench. He likes to utilize every member of the bullpen. He'll probably get Buchholz in there. This is ripped down the right field line. The 8th run will come around in Holiday. And Brad Hopp will have himself a double and an RBI. 8-2 Rockies. Well, it's not been a good afternoon for J.D. Durbin. 5 straight have reached after he got Finley on a ground out to begin the inning.
Just snap hooks a slider on the inside part of the plate out over Connor Jackson down into the corner. An easy jog for Holiday in to change places with Brad Hopp.
Rockies now 7 of 14 today with runners in scoring position. That'll work. They've had, George, 39 at-bats now in a 3-game series with runners in scoring position. That's a bunch.
It is an awful lot. Am I right on this? This is, I mean, I got to double check this. 10 for 16. Middle 2 through 4. You got to bring in Holiday. I mean, 2 through 5, and then Hopp also. I mean, man, oh man.
Well,
6, 7 RBIs.
Carroll is 2 for 3 and 2 walks.
Atkins 2 for 4.
Right.
Helton 2 for 4. Holiday 4 for 5. Hopp's 1 for 3 with an RBI. It's crazy. They've been pretty good in the middle of that lineup. Well, that's what everybody envisioned, too.
That's right.
I mean, you know, you just thought this is the type of lineup that could produce some ugly numbers up on the board in a hurry.
You know, this is inserting 2 guys that are going to come off your bench. That's Jamie Carroll and Steve Finley. And Finley is 0 for 5 at the top today. 2 and 2 is that pitch locked up Troy Tulowitzki. But Jamie's done his job. Tavares being given the day off. Kaz Matsui is off to a good start. He's had the day off. Flynn has not had to utilize Baker as Tulowitzki strikes out for the 4th time in the game.
Yeah, you mentioned it earlier. This was one of those innings. Durbin's going to wish he never answered the phone down in the bullpen. I mean, just all kinds of things have gone wrong here. Giving up 1, 2, 3, 4 hits in the game. Or in this inning, I should say. 4 runs. Walked a batter, struck out a batter.
Torrealba, a couple of hits today. And another one. Holiday and Helton in the middle of things. There's John Mabry. Jeff Baker's come out on deck. And he'll get a chance to hit as Torrealba has his 3rd knock of the day. And he'll drive in the 9th run for Colorado. First RBI of the season for Yorvi Torrealba. 9-2 Rockies. Good job by Torrealba today with the bat. It's getting to be a long afternoon for Bob Melvin.
It is going to get longer if they continue to make pitches like this when ahead in the count, trying to run a slider to that outer half of the plate, left it on the inside. Torrealba made him pay for it.
Well, Baker's been perfect this year, pinch hitting, 2 for 2, including a home run. He had a sharp single to center yesterday. Fastball at 92's up and in, ball 1. 6 home runs in his last 43 big league at bats for Jeff Baker. Two and up. Didn't give in on a fastball count. It's 2-1. And 2-2. This ball crushed high and deep left field, and it's going to one-hop the wall. Torrealba to third base, and he's going to come on toward the plate and score on a double by Jeff Baker. 3 for 3 in the pinch this year. That's pretty good.
You think? Wow, how about that guy? And I mean, the balls are being smoked, too. I thought that ball had a chance to get out of the yard at one point. I mean, finally, Melvin's getting somebody loose down in their bullpen after Durbin gave up a 6th spot here. Yeah, hoping to get that last out. This ball one-hops the fence at 347. Torrealba comes around to score, and all of a sudden it became a blowout pretty quick, 10-2. On top of that, Finley gets another shot. He made the first out, hoping to get ahead here. Metter's warming up down in the bullpen.
Durbin taking a bruising. Fools Finley there with the breaking pitch. 6 hits in the inning and 6 runs. And this will be a base hit also. Baker around third. He'll score easily. And now, you know what, George? Just for the kid's confidence, you almost have to get him out of there, don't
I
you?
would think so, yeah. I mean, I would have thought he would have been out of there a little bit ago. Not only there. Finley, first base hit of the year. First RBI of the year.
Talk about taking one for the team. Durbin's doing that
Yeah,
right
but
now.
there's no reason to take one for the team. I mean, that's the other side of it. The bullpen ought to be rested down there. But he has taken one here. I mean, this is a hit your earned run average can't come back with. Bob Melvin, that's enough. We're going to head on out to the mound right now. Just 2/3 of an inning for Durbin. 7 hits, 7 runs. All right.
That will take several months of shutout baseball out of the bullpen to recover from. Rockies have broken it wide open, and then some. 11-2 they. Brandon Metters to Jamie Carroll, ball 1. At first base, Steve Finley. He just drove in Jeff Baker. Rockies have scored 7 runs here in the 8th. It was 4-2 when the inning started. It now rests at 11-2. Jamie's had a big day at the plate. A couple of hits, couple of walks. An 800 on base percentage this afternoon. Well, if Finley does not score, George, you were trying to calculate this. Doug Marino's done it for us. He may yet, though. That's underneath the glove. Burns has to throw it in. Finley stops at third. And going to second base with a double is Jamie Carroll. So we can't assume that Finley doesn't score. But if he doesn't, Durbin's ERA, 94.50.
It'll go down the next outing.
2 hits in the inning for Jamie Carroll. Gatorade Player of the Game, Rodrigo Lopez in his Rockies debut. Everybody's going to talk about the offense in this inning tomorrow. That's what will be written about, I'm sure. But he was very efficient. A little more than 70 pitches in 7 innings. Did not walk a batter. Gave up just 2 runs. So a tremendous debut for Rodrigo Lopez in a Colorado uniform as he comes back to the National League. Atkins 2 for 4. He scored a pair of runs. 2 more RBIs out there. This is where players get greedy, George. I mean, there are going to be enough nail biters during the season. You want to just keep knocking the baseball around the yard. 18 hits for the Rockies. 1 and 2. Metters came in opening day and in a 5-5 ball game and promptly gave up a home run to center field off the bat of Jeff Baker. Working ahead here, 1 and 2. Finley and Carroll on base. 2 and 2. $60 games last year for Metters. Good numbers, too. Wow, just 5 home runs. 3 and 2. Rockies with 8 hits in the inning. The club record is 9 on a couple of occasions. Last time September 30th in 2001 against Milwaukee. They also did it April 13th of 2000 against the Cardinals. Both times it was right here at Coors Field. Ball 4, and they're loaded up for help. Todd had an opposite field double on an 0-2 pitch about 20 minutes ago. "13th man to hit in the inning for the Rockies. Atkins 2 walks in the inning. And Todd hits a ground ball deep in the hole. Drew with a long throw. It's in the dirt. And a nice play by Connor Jackson. And that will finally and mercifully end the bottom of the 8th inning. 7 runs on 8 hits. You gotta love it. 11-2 Colorado. Now free to move about the country. We go to the top of the 9th inning. The Rockies trying to get the final 3 outs in what has become a rout. 11-2 they lead. Jeremy Affeldt has been asked to get those final 3 outs. And when he threw his first pitch warming up, George, he hurt himself a little bit. Rockies training staff came out there, and now apparently he's okay.
Not sure what he did either. I mean, it had something to do down there with that ankle he's pushing off with right down here that he had a little problem. I don't know if he hooked a long shoestring or what he did. 154 ball games a year ago, though. 8-8, that all in a combination between the Kansas City Royals and the Colorado Rockies. He'll come out here. Just trying to get 3 outs here tonight. The Comcast called to the pen.
And today's call to the bullpen is brought to you by Comcast Digital Home Phone Service, as George was telling you about. Call 1-800-COMCAST for unlimited local and long distance. Yeah, Big Daddy going to watch the top of the 9th inning. Jeff Baker's in left field. 4 hits, 4 ribbies for Matt Holliday. Jeff Baker hitting 1,000. Got a single, double, and a home run this year. Brian Barton's going to pinch hit here for Chad Tracy. Bob Melvin giving his young player an at-bat. Jeremy Affeldt misses ball 1. And ball 2. Good job by LaTroy Hawkins in the 8th inning. That seems like a long time ago now, doesn't it?
Yeah, it was 7 runs and 8 hits ago.
It was.
And a walk.
And on the clock, it was about a 35-minute 8th inning.
Hey, when it's happening
like
to when it happens to the good guys, you don't care.
Now ball to Tulowitzki, and he'll throw out Barton, 1 guy. Robbie Hammock's going to hit for Connor Jackson.
Yeah, Clint's going to let him go to the 1 batter and then get him out of there and get Tyler Burkholz in the game as much as he can. So.
(11-2), the Rockies leading Arizona. Warren, who else there? Chris. Travis is there, Krista's there. Okay, that's part of our post-game crew playing hooky today, because there is no post-game show this afternoon. I was enjoying a little Rockies baseball. It's late night for our post-game crew. Here's Taylor Buchholz in his first Rockies appearance with the Houston Astros last year. Former draft pick of the Philadelphia Phillies. That's where he grew up, outside of Philadelphia. Opposition hit just .248 against Buchholz last year. Georgia will run the fastball in the mid-90s and an overhand curveball.
Yeah, and that's basically what you're going to get out of him. Just going to come in and attack the zone. I think a little more confidence given out there. He's going to do fine.
So Robbie Hammock against Taylor Buchholz, and the first pitch is up and away, ball 1. Washington came from behind and beat the Florida Marlins for their first win today, 7-6. That's the only final in the National League. Everything else tonight. Detroit led Toronto today 9-0 and had to hang on and win 10-9. And in that ball game in the 9th inning, Toronto had 2 runners on and 1 out with a chance to move ahead, could not, or at least tie it up. Cleveland beat the White Sox today 8-7. This is a base hit up the middle for Robbie Hammock. Robbie's a nice story. He was up in the big leagues a few years ago, and then he had shoulder surgery. Some thought he wouldn't be able to come back and throw again. Played at AAA all of last year, finally got in 1 game very late last season, and then he makes the ball club out of spring training, and it was an emotional time for Hammock. It's one thing, I'm sure it's very emotional when you first make the big leagues, but when you think your big league career may be over, and then you get another chance. A little special for Robbie Hammock, who's at first base. Scott Hairston 0 for 3 in the ball game. One out in the 9th, 11-2 Colorado. We have 18 hits today to 8 for Arizona. Ball in Arizona strike. The Angels in the 8th inning in Anaheim, leading Texas 5-2. And the Yankees at home against Tampa Bay. They were supposed to play this afternoon. It's been postponed. Arizona's going to have to bundle up, George, when they get to Washington. It's cold back east.
It's going to be extremely cold back east. It's supposed to be in the 30s. First day in there. Good pitch there at 92. Good location.
Good movement, too. Everything was good about that pitch. 2-2.
Do it again then.
Arizona struggled against Washington and the Expos the last few years, just 3-15. 3-2. Hairston fouls this back into the upper deck. Uh-oh, another broken window.
That didn't sound very good to me.
A lead auto glass, I'm sure, traveling to that very spot right now. A lot more glass here than there was a year ago, it seems like. Deep right field, Hop going back, and this is going to be off the wall. Barden's going to stop at third on the double by Hairston. Or excuse me, Hammock is going to stop at third. Barden grounded out. That'll bring up Miguel Montero.
Yeah, concerned this ball might get out of the ballpark. Harrison showed an awful lot of power in spring training, and this ball up a little bit, drove it to right field, ricocheted off of the auxiliary scoreboard, and then back into play here.
Montero is single in the 7th, a couple of ground outs otherwise today, 1 for 3. His first start behind the plate. Chris Young has come out on deck. Two more out of the strike zone, 2-0. Buchholz did battle some command issues during spring training. And 3-0, that's not close. You always want to throw strikes, particularly when you have a 9-run lead. Fire it over the middle of the plate. As you like to say, George, see how far they can hit it, get 3 outs, shake hands, get ready for the next one.
Yeah, it's kind of what Tom Kelly always used to say all the time. Babe Ruth dead, throw it down the middle, see how far they can hit it. If you're scared, go buy a dog. That's kind of one of the things, just attack it and go at it. You got to believe in your stuff, confidence in your stuff.
Todd Helton has cast a large shadow on this game. This ball is on one hop off of Tulowitzki, and he's not going to get anybody. That's a tough chance. It's a base hit for Montero to drive in a run. Hammock comes across, 11-3, Hairston to third base.
Well, off the left-handed bat, fist a little bit, tough hop here. I mean, I think the runner may have had something to do with it too. He kind of stayed in front of it and darted towards third base as the ball got there. They distracted Tulowitzki a little bit.
Chris Young, the starting center fielder the first 2 ball games, pinch hitting here in the 9-hole. There's a strike on Young. Part of the Javier Vasquez trade, when the Diamondbacks, after having Vasquez, who they acquired from the Yankees, the Randy Johnson deal, they had him for 1 year and then sent him to the White Sox. One of the guys they got back was his prime prospect, Chris Young. For whatever reason, Scott Hairston did not run initially. Then he came around to score. Rockies get the force out for the second out. And Stephen Drew will come up for the 5th time. He's 1 for 4. RBI on the fielder's choice for Young. Fouled out of play. 2 strikes on Stephen Drew. Native of Georgia, played collegiately at Florida State. I don't know what you think about it, George. I don't think it's the worst thing in the world to have a long road trip early in the season. Chance for the players to bond.
Just get those knocked out and get them out of the way. There's the punch out, hard slider. That'll end it.
2 runs for the Diamondbacks in that 9th inning, but the Rockies win it going away 11-4. Rodrigo Lopez in his Rockies debut goes 7 strong innings, and he gets the win. He evens his career record at 61-61. Doug Davis in his Arizona debut goes 5 innings, and he suffers the loss. Rockies 11, the Diamondbacks 4. They take 2 of 3. And George Frazier, that's what you want to do. You want to win series. So the Rockies lose opening day, and I think back to what Clint Hurdle said. He goes, you know, everybody was giggling in the clubhouse the last few years after opening day, and then the season didn't turn out as we'd like.
No.
Maybe we'll write a new script. We'll lose opening day, and then we'll do the giggling later on.
Yeah, that's kind of fun. It's always nice when you're the guys shaking hands at the end of the game. And again, the Rockies today showed the potential of their bats late in that 1 inning of what kind of damage can happen, and happen fast, and it did. And I thought that was kind of fun to watch, because it's just kind of, you know, it gets your taste buds going of what these guys can do. And trust me, Greg Maddux is watching a box score, and along with these other guys, Boomer and Peavy, saying, oh boy, here they're coming at us, and they can really swing it.
And you know, when Matt Holliday hit that home run to center field, that was a big, important run. You didn't know the Rockies were going to explode for 7 in the inning. It gave the Rockies a couple of run separation at that point. He got them going. He had the big day, 4 hits, 4 ribbies.
He did have a big day today, and when that ball was hit, it was off the end of the bat. It was a slider down and away from him, and he hit it. You know, people didn't think that ball was out of the ballpark, and it was. This is a strong dude now. He's going to drive some balls out of the yard where people think, oh, he got fooled, he one-handed him. I mean, he has that kind of strength. Helton, another good day, 0-2 count, left field, 1 hops the wall. The typical Todd Helton, another RBI. I mean, the middle of the order was just damaged today.
And another base hit for Jeff Baker, a double off the bench. Matt Holliday's down on the field with Keith Bleier. And Keith, we asked him at some point if he really got that ball that he hit out the center field.
That was my planned second question, Drew. It's coming, so stay tuned for that. But first of all, you're trending upward a little bit, Matt. After a rough opening day, a couple hits yesterday, 4 today. We'll see 6 hits on Friday, huh?
I hope so. We'll see. Hopefully I get that many at bats, but you know, I try to figure out how to get hits off Webb next time. But you know, it was a frustrating opening day, but I felt good even though I didn't get any hits. But you know, you just try to get a good pitch to hit and hit it hard.
Was that a good pitch to hit, that home run ball? I mean, both Drew and I and even George think that you kind of reached out and pushed that over the wall.
Well, that's a pitch that I can get extended on. You know, I like to get my arms out and out extended on it, and I was sort of thinking slider in that situation. And you know, for whatever reason, I didn't think I got enough of it because I hit off the end a little bit, but I had good extension on it and then carried out.
This middle of the lineup that looked so good on paper looked awfully good today, especially in the 8th inning. That's what you envisioned, right?
Well, I think that's what we expect. I think we expect to be productive middle of the order, and we have the weapons to do it. And you know, we did it well in most of the game today. And Todd's hit some balls that have been caught right at people, and you know, the one he hit in the gap. And, you know, everybody's hitting the ball hard. And Garrett's coming and had some balls hard today, and so you know, that's what we expect for most of the year.
Matty, good stuff, and good luck on the road.
Thanks.
All right. Matt Holliday, 4 hits, 4 ribbies, the offensive star. Rodrigo Lopez, obviously the star on the mound today. Back up to the booth.
Yeah, it was a good day all around for the Colorado Rockies. First time that they've won the opening series of the year since the 02 season, when they opened on the road at Busch Stadium, the old Busch Stadium, against the St. Louis Cardinals, and that's what you want to do. We talked about it, win series. Now you go out on the road and you'll be challenged by good pitching in the NL West.
Well, I think the important thing is that the Diamondbacks, with some circles, people are talking about them contending or winning the National League West. So you took 2 out of 3 from them. Now you head to San Diego, where, again, it's the people are the favorites because of their pitching staff and some offense they have. And I think it's important you go in there and try to take that series. Obviously, every series is important, but just kind of prove a point and prove to yourselves downstairs.
It was a good beginning for the Rockies. They'll have a day off tomorrow, and then they will head to San Diego. Once again, the final score from Coors Field this afternoon. The Rockies break it open late. They win 11-4. Jeff Guzdelik throws out the opening pitch, the new head coach at CU. Rockies pound out 18 hits in their victory over the Arizona Diamondbacks.